Hey guys, it's Scotch for Dummies live. Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh! I haven't seen that old intro in
so
months.
Love it.
When we're done tonight, go ahead and rewind that and look at how much hair I had in those videos. It's
Whiskey's not good for hair.
No, whiskey's not good for hair.
So
I love that.
Sean is running 5 minutes late. He will be sitting right here in hopefully less than 5 minutes. But without him, happy Thursday.
Happy
guys.
Thursday. Happy Thursday.
And,
I hear door closing.
I hear him.
You may be coming down right now, actually.
Yep.
We're cheersing without you, Sean.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I think it was your wife shutting
It's
the
your
door.
wife shutting the
Making
door.
too much noise. So what's going on?
We are celebrating.
We are celebrating. We weren't able to do a 5-year get-together celebration. We've had a great Christmas season. It's a new year. We're going to celebrate.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. We've had a good year. We've had a good start to the year. From a Facebook or from a YouTube perspective, things are going strong for us. Numbers great for us. We've got some good people we're talking to and hanging out with. It's been a good start.
Yeah, we've got a lot of new people involved. I mean, we've got a lot of new subscribers in the last couple of weeks, and Mark is doing connection, and we're bringing in new patrons. I mean, it's just a good time. We're building our community, building our family,
and the journey.
That's it.
It's beginning again. I mean, we're getting more and more, adventurous in some whiskeys, and lots of things are going to happen this year for us. We got some things in the books here we're going to try, and we'll see what happens.
Well, 2020 was supposed to be the year we were going to do a lot of big things. We were going to go across the pond and take some subscribers with us. We were going to have a big 5-year anniversary celebration because we've been at this for 5 years, and that all kind of got washed away, just like everybody else on the planet's plans. So, this last couple of weeks, we had a lot of growth on our YouTube channel, and it's really gratifying. It feels awesome.
It does.
But at the end of the day, we've never
just more people to go the journey with us.
Right. We've never really paid attention to the numbers. I mean, you do when you do this work, but it's not been about that. We started the channel 5.5, 6 years ago. The four of us going, what is this stuff right here? This stuff about?
Yeah, exactly.
And we've never claimed to know it all. We try really hard to find out for everybody, but we learn a lot from you, and hopefully you're getting something from us because you're here. So
it still amazes me. I'll go into like Total Wine. I was there over the holidays, and all three of us were there, and we're looking through Scotch, and every time we go in there, there's one person, always one person goes, I don't know what to get. I'm like, that's why we're doing it right there. Yeah. And then they were talking to us and like, was this good? I'm like, actually, this is better, and here's why.
Right.
And it's the same price, so go for it. Yeah.
Right. So
we're going to talk a lot about tonight, celebrating those 5.5 plus 6 years, which the journey and the people. And that's really because without the people, the journey is not nearly as fun. And the people is a broad range of people.
We got some people on right here.
There's all these people. Let's talk about who we got on real quick because we've got some other people to bring in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I was watching Roy's show earlier, and a lot of these names are really
familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Zach and Bobby J and James, and
we want to call out Bourbon for sure. I mean, he's over there in
Amsterdam.
Yeah,
and he actually poured a dram this morning to celebrate with us.
Yeah,
it's like 2 a.m. or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So Bobby J is on. Zach Andrews is on. Who else we got? Steve A. Good to see you,
Colin,
Mr. Moderator.
Colin Murray Bain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep calling these folks out. We actually have a few raffle giveaways. We've been getting pretty good about doing that on our lives, but tonight there's some special things. So if you guys are familiar with the Scotch test dummies, if you're not, stay tuned here in a little while. But if you guys are, way back when they had the bright idea to create a coin that's
A
used
whiskey
as
coin,
a
yep.
whiskey coin that's used to top their glass, and they were a big hit. Well, we got to talking to them and got their blessing before we decided to copy the idea, because it's a great idea. They're really cool things, and they've been really popular. Well, we are going to raffle off 2 sets tonight.
Yeah,
Gilted.
so we have 2 sets here.
Gilted Moose.
These are actually first fill and second fill coins. These are coins are set number 10 of the first fill and set number 10 of the second fill.
What?
These were never available on sale.
We
They were never available.
We put them back.
And you can't even get any first fill coins
They're all
anymore.
gone.
And there's only a couple onesie twosie second fill coins. Tonight you can win a full set of first fill, and then a second raffle will be a first fill of second fill.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, those we've been holding on to those for years. So
Yeah, and that's the point. We did them. We saved them for this, because this is the reason that we wanted to be able to, have special giveaways, because this you can't get it normally,
No
and
down.
you can't buy these anymore. Let's give them away.
this guy's comment. Oh, you just missed it. This guy right here.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So there's a comment from Aqvavitae. Stay tuned in the next hopefully 5 minutes. We've got that guy in the green room waiting.
He's
but
waiting.
To call out Moose is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's good to see Scotch in the Bayous here as well. Sunday evening, Scotch. Michael, another moderator. Thanks for being here tonight, buddy.
Man, thank you.
Mark
Thanks,
JG,
Mike.
Kilted News from Scotland. He said earlier that he said hi to me. He's like, "Oh God, I can't make tonight. It's too late." Look, he still shows up.
still
What a
here.
guy.
Cheers to that guy,
What a
right?
guy.
So we're also going to open a special bottle or two tonight that we've been holding on to, because this is about as special as we can make the occasion, since we can't all physically be together, which I really wish we could.
Maybe late 2021 we'll be able to do a 6-year
Let's hope.
celebration.
Well, I was on Aqvavitae's show earlier today, and I told him that
Wow.
I am going to make it to his backyard, and I'm going to dump an empty bottle in his recycling. That's going to happen. It's going to happen, man.
That was good. Well, I guess
so-
sometime like the present.
No
yeah,
time
let's-
like the
let's
present.
Get the raffle started.
Okay.
Kick that off.
All right.
So
Let's do the second fill
up
first.
to you, my friend.
So let's do the second. We're going to do the second fill coins. The beauty of these coins, and this was, I don't know who came up with this idea, but when you stack the coins up, so this is a full set of coins, 4 coins, serial number 10. When you stack these coins up, it actually creates a Glencairn glass. And I don't know if we'll be able to show that on
Probably
the
not.
screen. Cameras are probably not going to focus on it. But it's kind of a cool thing that I think I'm sure Drew came up with it. To come up with this, and let's see if we can get this on the camera, if it will show.
No. Yeah, that'll show. Get closer.
Wow, look at you.
Go slowly, let it zoom in.
That's
It
cool.
actually creates a Glencairn glass when you stack the coins up, so that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
So that's why you want a whole set, not just 1 or 2 coins. So
All right.
So-
well, I'm gonna set this up while you guys get our guests from here.
Okay,
Let's
give me something special here to pour in.
Something special?
Well, it doesn't have to be crazy, but
We gotta wait for Sean to
I
get
know.
here.
But
Special.
I'm looking at Drew's stock.
How about this? Will this work for a little bit?
That'll
yes,
work just
Kilcairn
fine.
8.
That Kilcairn
This is
8's
the bourbon
great.
cask, right?
So you get the raffle set up, and then people can start commenting on that. But without further ado, if we can't get the guy in Scotland, Aqvavitae,
Are you ready,
Roy,
Roy?
are you there?
Get a thumbs up from you. Yep, he's there. Here we go.
He's there. All right.
Oh
Roy.
yeah, the man of the hour is here.
How you doing, boys?
Hey.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Thanks so much. Good
You
to
look
have you.
great, Roy. It's good to see you, my friend.
So
Yeah, it's good to see you. It's good to be here. It's good to hear your voice. We had that wonderful experience that we've talked about it when you were on that channel, Mark. You and Drew were over in Edinburgh. Look, I've been playing with this to try and make it work.
You did get it.
Almost there, isn't it? It's almost going to focus
There
on
you
Perfect.
yeah.
You got to
little
play
stack
with
of
it.
coins. But that idea that we were able to kind of make a in real life thing out of this kind of YouTube community, that's gone back to 2017, I think that was. My goodness, that's coming up for 4 years ago. But there was a bizarre familiarity for me. I don't think you knew me back then, but I knew you.
No, wait.
Well, I was just going to ask. So, who inspired who?
So we
earlier
were
in
in
the day.
Dublin
Yeah.
on our trip, and Drew and I decided to just go live in the hotel.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
We poured a glass, and
That's back when live was really, really hard to do, by the
That's
way.
only like 3 years ago, too. So,
Roy.
Do you want to hear my take on it?
Yeah,
that's what Roy did.
I would love to hear it.
So I was traveling as well. I was in a hotel, and I got a notification that you guys had gone live, and it was kind of a new thing back then. I said, "Oh, where are they going?" And you guys were in a hotel, and you had to go into the conference room to get Wi-Fi.
Right.
because there wasn't Wi-Fi in your room to stream video. And the two of you were kind of having a debrief about your trip so far and the whiskey themed things about it. Even though it wasn't exclusively a whiskey trip back then, of course it was family trip, right?
Yeah.
But then you put out a thing and you said, look, this is going to be our kind of where we're moving over the next few days. If you think you could meet up with us somewhere or do anything, let us know. And straight away, I don't know, I had enough whiskey in me, enough drams in me to say, yeah, I'll connect with these guys. I sent you a message. And I think that's how it happened. And I met you in Edinburgh at the top of the Royal Mile. Together.
When we got your message, we were both blown away. We were like, holy cow, someone actually like reached out to us. I mean, this is like a real person and he's willing to.
Yeah.
And then we hook up with you right there by the castle. And I mean, you treated us like we were royalty. You had this whole agenda planned out. I mean, we had such an awesome time. You introduced me to the SMWS, bought my first bottle there. I want to go back now. Tried haggis with you, and then we did a couple bar hops. Wow, I didn't want that night.
I think they got drunk during that.
That was so much fun.
But we spent the whole day, the whole evening together, and it went like that. It just flew past. And I remember there's Sean come in and out. Good to see you, Sean. Good to see you, buddy.
How you doing?
That's the kind of thing I always feel like when I see Andrew and Sean. I get that same familiarity, and I've got to remind myself that I've yet to meet you. I haven't met you yet. But it will happen, and I think that's happened.
I will say it's odd when you meet people that you know. My wife calls them internet friends, right? But I mean, you know what each other looks like. You've talked. You just haven't met in person, but you're still friends.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
It's always nice to meet in person, but the internet does amazing things.
But it does, and what it does is that anytime when I met Mark and Drew, that's the point I made, is the comfort I felt when I met Scott and Bart, when we met in Texas, when I met Eric Waite, anyone that I've met online, even Ralphie. It wasn't awkward or strange. There was video does that. It has that ability to kind of, there was a joke recently, one of the patrons, I was speaking to him directly, and he said, Roy, you forget that I know you better than you. Because he's watching and he's taking all of these things, and we've got to remember the things that we say, right, in case we contradict ourselves in the future. Absolutely. But absolutely, there's a familiarity there, and it's a wonderful thing. I think it's great that we have the technology. I think it's amazing that we don't just talk on video camera, but we do take opportunities to meet when we can, and we're all looking for this crap to blow over for us to get better.
I'll toast to that.
Yeah.
Amen.
So Drew talks all the time. He does all the video editing, and he knows us better than we know us. He knows all our tells. He knows all our give. He knows exactly where we're going with our
It's
hand
hilarious.
gestures and things.
I'll see these guys do something. I'm like, hey, and watch doing this, or whatever it is they do. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude,
That's weird because we don't even know what we're going to do.
If something ever goes south, Drew will be able to blackmail all three of us.
Yes, he will. You know how much video he's got?
Because I'm a solo guy, I'll just do my own thing, and I'm only editing myself, which can be brutal for anybody.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
But one thing that's cool, and Drew's, Sean, you're next in the hot seat, buddy, for the blind challenge. Drew's done the blind challenge, and for anybody that does a blind challenge, by the way, you guys can testify, I get unedited footage back. It's raw footage I get. It's completely, there's a lot of trust in that. It's completely honest. And what's wonderful about that is that, Drew, I got to see all your kind of stutters and your stumbles and the things that clearly you would just not.
I stutter? What? Stumble? I don't do that.
you get to see right in, and you see the character, and that happened with Finn and Scott and everybody that's taken the blind challenge that I got to edit. You get to connect with them, and I guess that's exactly what Andrew's talked about there, right? When Drew's editing, he gets to see all your little tells. Never play poker with Drew.
Yeah, he definitely knows us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we're seeing some new people that are logging in that obviously came over from your show, Roy.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool. I want to say hey to Floydian06. That's awesome.
Yeah. And we also have a new member as well.
Oh, yeah, we do. Mark JG, congrats on 25 or 26,000.
Yeah, we just busted 26
Cheers
this
and many
morning or
more.
something. So, yeah.
What's new in Roy's world? You're firing on all cylinders. The channel's done really good things
Mark.
and grown a lot. I mean, you've away yourself.
Yeah, and what's really cool about it is that, you know, I've had to make it fit around my life. So, you know, what the original content I wanted to make was kind of edit heavy, kind of production, pre-recorded and edited content to put out there. But what ended up happening is that I could focus on that kind of ring-fence time on a Thursday night for the live streams. And then the live streams became like little gatherings inside a pub, and then they became the V pub, and then they became, and it just kind of built on that. And then this year, because last year, sorry, what happened, they became weekly instead of every other week. And I think that they bring the lifeblood of community. They bring the people. They bring the connected experience, the togetherness. And I think that that's what's kind of grown the channel. It's quite nice, organic, kind of manageable growth.
Right.
But the community, I feel like I know them. You guys, I know that you feel the same way. You do feel like
You do know them.
Yeah, you do.
and it's just that's what whiskey does. It does it in real life. It brings people together, and you get talking to people, and people that you would otherwise not have anything in common with politically or geographically or whatever it may be. Yeah. Suddenly you've got this common ground and you connect over it. I think it's an absolute privilege to be able to use whiskey in that way.
I think you actually put a name on it though, because I mean, 4.5, 5 years ago when we started doing the lives.
Thanks, Zach.
Exactly.
Thank you, Zach. Our goal, when we said this several times, we were like, we want to make that camera feel like you're sitting at our bar. We want you to pull up a chair and spend an hour with us. And you put a name on it. You've got the V Pub, and that's what you do. People all gather around your bar virtually and do that experience.
Can I tell you how crazy it is? And it's a really cool anecdote, a wee story. I was guesting, like I am right now, on a live stream with you guys 2017, let's wind all the way back. I think it was genuinely 4 years ago, and I'm just guessing. And you were taking chat from the comments, Mark, and you said, Kilted Moose, hey, isn't he in Glasgow? Roy, you guys are in the same town. Why do you know each other? And we said, well, I know who Scott is, but we've never met. And I have to tell you, that's what prompted me to reach out to Scott Monroe, who's Kilted Moose. And he's one of my best friends in Glasgow now in the whiskey community.
I love it, man.
But we live in the same town, and we met on a channel that goes out live from Indianapolis.
That is hilarious.
From Indianapolis.
It's perfect.
That's crazy, right? I mean, I mean, one thing you've nailed it, and we all nailed it really, is it's the journey, but it's the folks. I mean, there's so many people we know and connect with, all of us holistically. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, you, me, Whiskey and the Six, Scotch Test Dummies, all of, there's so many people you connect with and know, and we see all the time. It's like family.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a big group. I mean, you said it earlier though on your show. The Scotch community on YouTube is really small comparatively speaking to YouTube, but it's big enough for us to all enjoy and get together and do this together.
And one of the things I love is, so we have live discussions, Zoom calls with our patrons, usually before and after our live on Thursday night. And that's, again, where you're creating that community. You know, if I saw one of those people in an airport, I could sit down and it would be like
instant trust.
Instant trust. I mean, I would have full trust in them because I've spent hours talking to them over, you know, and the important thing is it's video talk. So you can see them, you can understand them, you can look at them, you can see how they respond, all that kind of stuff. So it's really great.
That's right. And I think that that's going to be the challenge, because the inevitability is that however fast we grow, we will grow. If we're putting out content that connects with people, we'll grow. And then it's kind of the challenges of how we find little devise ways of connecting the community and putting the people, because it's all about people. Let's not, yes, whiskey brings us together and we love that shared passion, but people come first. And if there are ways, kind of little ways that you can come up with, like what you talked about there, Andrew, that you can connect and make it people forward, that's kind of the challenge as the channels grow, is how you can keep that, managing that and keeping in contact and keeping that kind of personal contact. I have to say, there's plenty of room. You guys are still coping okay with your stratospheric growth, 25K. It's amazing, right?
Like Whiskey Tribe with 300,000 subs. How do you have our live stream with patrons that are, like are 10 or 15 people? It's manageable. We talk to each other. Everybody has a chance to talk if they want. But if you have if you have like 290 people, or however, when you get bigger, I would think it'd be more difficult. And so you have to kind of parse it out and have separate calls for different people, and create those smaller communities.
Yeah.
Interns.
It takes a lot of
Do you have an
interns.
intern?
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is that so it's easy to do it like by time zone or something like that to make it appropriate to whoever you've gone out to. But then they miss one of that connected people. Somebody in Norway can connect with somebody in Kansas, and all of that kind of cool thing, and those friends, that friendship. So there are challenges. I'd be interested to hear how you guys are managing that thing, because I need to figure out a way to make it work for me too.
Mostly it's Drew yelling at us that we don't do enough.
Right. I mean, honestly, you should see the screen we're looking at. It's not you.
I know Drew, and he's probably right.
He is right, but that doesn't mean we don't want to.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm called the maestro for some reason. I don't know why.
But there's only so many hours in a day. I mean, it really comes down to, you still have to have time for the job that pays the bills, and your family and whiskey shopping. Like, I mean, that's a real thing, right? So you want to share everything that you do, but at some point you have to kind of set some boundaries, I guess, and say, I just don't have any more time that I can give to this one thing. So it makes it difficult, because there's a lot as it grows, and as more and more people become involved in the community, it gets harder and harder to make it feel personal. And we all want to have that,
right?
I want to make sure everybody feels included and welcome, because they are.
Yeah.
So on a personal note, how's the family? Are you doing, family, wife and kids, everyone's healthy, and you guys are dealing with the lockdown and all that good stuff?
You can see right inside my head and see my thoughts. So Sean's talking about that little anecdote he shared there. I'm thinking, and I'm feeling the guilt about the time I take away, right? We all do, because we've all got kind of challenges, and we all have to go where the priorities are, and whoever's shouting loudest. And usually that's the wife or the kids. That's just, it's the nature of it. We have to make it fit around, like any of us, anybody in the community. But they're all doing well. They're all doing really well. And I always have to be super grateful to my family, they've really accepted this whole thing that Dad has constantly has delivery guys bringing whiskey to the door. He's got these bottles littered all over the house everywhere, and he's got this community, and he goes live, and he does all these things, and they all just kind of take it in their stride, and even they're actively supportive of it. So I think we all have to kind of be very, very grateful about the folk behind the scenes that are putting up with this obsession that we have.
It's your family business, so
Yeah, that's what I say, Andrew. That's exactly what I say.
Have you been out in public with the kids or the entire your wife, and somebody that they obviously don't know has approached you and that knows you from your show?
Yeah, I mean, it tends to happen if we're near whiskey environments, if we're at a distillery, a whiskey shop or something. But I'll tell you something that's really cool. It's quite funny. Because of COVID, we had to do the parents' night for high school for the two girls. I've got twin girls in high school, and we had to do parents' night virtually. So we're all kind of sitting behind in a line in front of a camera doing what you would normally be able to do with these teachers individually. And we went on to one of the teachers. He might be watching now, actually. And the teacher comes on, and he just kind of looks up, and he does a double take, and he goes, "Oh, I know you." He said, I've just been watching a whiskey video of you in it. And my two girls are just doing this.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the school teacher has spotted me. And my wife's just kind of looking, going, really?
Yeah, right.
But it's that thing, if you're not going to meet people generally, but if somebody's into whiskey, and if they happen to consume any of that whiskey content on YouTube, there's maybe a chance they've at least seen your face or something. So that was pretty funny.
My favorite story of ours, it was Mark and Drew and I, and we went down to Kentucky. We got invited down by one of our subscribers, Alan Ward, who I don't know if he's on tonight or not, but he invited us down, and we had communicated over email and over the phone, and he told us where they were going to meet us, and they were going to take us around. And so we met at this little
country restaurant
out in the middle of horse country. And we walked in, and your wife and my wife were there, and they were like, so, we were waiting, and they said they'd be there in a little bit. And the wife said, well, what's this guy look like? And we're like, yeah, I don't know. And they're like, well, how are we going to find him? And we're like, well, he knows what we look like. And sure enough, they walked in, and it was like best friends. And He and his wife are super great people. We got to try all kinds of whiskey and got taken around, but the wives were a little taken aback by the fact that we had no idea, no clue what this guy looked like, and we were meeting up and spending the weekend with him and his wife.
Yeah, but you know, you can reassure the wives and it's whiskey. There are no idiots in whiskey.
Right.
But isn't it amazing how positive a community we have?
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Welcoming, they're sharing, it's like exactly, you can go into that situation, Sean, and feel confident that you're going to meet somebody who's a good guy. I mean, I don't want to be naive about these things. Of course, you need, but chances are you know them already. They know you.
Yeah.
They're not going to invite you.
He's a great guy. I've gone down with my wife to just hang out with him and his wife.
Alan's a
and
great guy.
Alan's awesome.
Yeah.
So
We want to wrap up the.
We got a raffle that we need to wrap
Promote the
up.
raffle.
And we got
Make sure-
somebody else in the green room. Can you
Make
see
sure
who's in the
everyone
green
knows
room?
what's going on with that raffle.
Yeah, it's going. You got 14, just over 14 minutes left to hit exclamation point raffle for your chance to win the set of coins.
The
here.
second fill, set number 10 of
Scotch for Dummy
Scotch for
coins.
Dummies coins. Yep.
nice.
Roy, can you see who's in the green room?
No, we can't.
No.
Ah,
Well, you should at least say hi to him.
yeah, I think you should
I
at
think
least
you know
say
this
hi
guy.
to this guy.
Are you? Well, he's getting
Oh
up out of
wait,
his chair. Hold on a second.
he just left. Maybe
He's
he
not
doesn't
ready.
want to say
He's
hi
like,
to you.
he's
In that case, I know who it is. That's okay, Scott. See you later, buddy. All right.
He's playing
I'm out
it.
of
He's
here.
playing it. So go ahead and put him in.
I'm happy to see him, but that is Brora in my
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hey!
Look at that guy.
What's this guy doing?
Man, it's good to see that smile.
More Dummies and Roy.
Well, it's five dummies.
I was
now,
going to say, are you forgetting yourself?
but he can't taste yet.
So
So
one of these days, all three of these groups are going to get together. And we're going to hang out and have a nice big toast together.
That'd be a good one for sure. You betcha.
Yeah.
a mug of whiskey.
Well, here's your mug. I mean, you drank it.
So when's the last time you guys had a chance to talk? You guys been keeping up? I know Scott's been out of commission.
We probably do about once a month or so. Maybe we hook up and have a dram and catch up.
That's
Yeah.
great. Good, man.
Yeah, it's keeping. It's like you say, it's a wee bit like managing the comments and things. You always feel guilt when time passes, and we have to make an agreement, guys. You know, see when it has been a few weeks and we haven't communicated. The next time that we do communicate, whether it's this or text or what, you just pick it up the way you left off. There's no guilt,
Right.
no anxiety or anything. You just exactly like that. So you don't need to feel like people are feeling neglected or anything, because it's too difficult. There's too much to manage. But it's great to see you, Scott. Tell me how your health and how's your palate doing? Coming back?
Coming back still gradually, slowly, which is better than not coming back at all.
Right.
And I'm trying to get the chat popped out here, so I'm multitasking.
So for those of who may not know, tell us your story of your COVID story, if you're willing.
You bet. Yeah. Well, first, congratulations to you guys on 25,000 subs.
Shoot, I need to
I'm
pour.
dry.
I am too.
And I had a sample of the naked grouse that I poured. I saw you had that out, and then the Kill Karen, which I grabbed as well. So
Well, both are good. We got to temper a little bit because we got a couple hours here. We need to go.
We got
so.
some big bottles.
We're not doing
of
12 hours of Zoom or anything.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Well, thanks.
Well,
appreciate that.
and Roy just talked. I mean, we're all busy. We all got our own lives going, and sometimes you're not paying attention. And your guys' subs blowing up, I didn't even catch, hadn't even noticed. So good job, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It was totally random.
It wasn't nothing we did really.
We didn't buy them. We didn't buy them.
It kept freaked us out. I'm not gonna lie.
Totally freaked us out.
Yeah, I was scrambling the first day. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
And then we broke the internet.
Yeah. Some cats.
Well,
we put some videos of cats that are drinking scotch or something. Yeah,
girls in bikinis, it all works out,
You know the algorithm.
Was the old the man show it was called, with girls on trampolines.
Yep.
Beer.
Yep.
Jimmy
That was
Kimmel,
a
right?
great show.
Yeah, it was good. Anyway.
But and it's a good thing that Drew texted me a little bit ago, because I didn't realize you had us broken down into time slots. So I just kind of had the usual time frame for you guys being, 9 p.m. in mind. And what was about 45 minutes ago or so, Drew texted me and said, "Hey, are you up for 7:30?" I was like, "Ooh, I got to get moving.
Well, that's
I did
funny
the same
'cause-
thing.
Because Roy mentioned about the text thing. And Scott, you and I, we text probably once every couple of months. And it's been a couple of months, and you just pick up and like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing? I'm great. You want me to show? Yep, let's do it.
Well, and yeah, the last time it was a month and a half ago or so, you guys were having a live, and I happened to catch it and was tuning in, and then you guys invited me in, so I just came in during your live.
Yeah.
That's probably the last time that we got to hang out. So
Yeah, it's been a while.
I had to go on early because Roy's supposed to be in bed.
I forgot about that. I remember
Before I do go, I do want to recall that I've just admitted how one of my best friends locally in Glasgow and Whisky, Kilted Moose, we are friends because of meeting through the Scotch for Dummies channel and Diana. But I think it's true that the reason that you guys, the Dummies are all connected is because of that day in Edinburgh.
That's because of you. Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
is.
think that could be true?
I would think that's true. Yeah.
I would say so. I would say that we probably hadn't reached out and actually talked with Scott or Bart before we hung out with you.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Which
Roy,
is
if
weird.
you think about it, you were the catalyst for what has become Whiskey Tubers, because we've all become really good friends, and it's all because of that gesture you did at that one day, which started us down the path. And it's a domino of you talk to this person, you talk to this person, you talk to this person, and now we're all friends, and it's been good.
Well, if you go further back than that, then when Scott and I started working together way back in 2017. I mean, the reason that all came about, the reason that all happened was because of the live streams that the Scotch test dummies started to put out. And you remember the thing that really struck me is that they weren't just going to industry for guests. Scott and Bart, you guys were reaching out to other creators in whiskey.
That's right.
Yeah.
So bringing these networks of people and bringing these communities together and that collaboration, that was one of the things that inspired me, because culturally at work and my background was all about that. That was if you can make people do that, if you can get people to think non-competitively and make them think collaboratively, you're only limited by imagination.
That's true.
When I saw Scott and Bart doing that I was like, okay, this is the way to do this thing, because whiskey is all about connecting people. These guys, they've got it. And that was kind of, when I was camera shy live in Edinburgh with you guys, the reason I stepped outside of my comfort zone, the reason I wanted to do the live streams and things, the reason I wanted to create on YouTube was because of Scott and Bart and that whole promise of community. So it's nice of you to recognize that and suggest that I was very active in that, absolutely. But I'll always lay the responsibility and blame at the feet of Scott and Bart.
Yeah.
Well, however you want to spin it, I want to say cheers to you, Roy.
Yes.
Thank you for being a part of what we are today.
Absolutely.
And blessed for you to stay up this late with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great to
Boys,
see.
thank you all very much. Scott, I hope you get better very, very soon, my friend. And congratulations to Scotch for Dummies, and the very best for the future, boys. Thank you so much. Thanks for everything.
Roy. Cheers.
Cheers, Roy.
Look at these whiskey
All right,
studies.
hold on just for a second.
So wait, yes.
Scott, we got to say something to this guy.
Yeah. So this was another whiskey community connection.
Yeah.
That Eric Waite was online, and I was going to visit my aunt in San Francisco, and Eric said, "Hey, let's meet up for a whiskey." And so I go to San Francisco
and met up with a whiskey.
picks me up at the airport. I don't know this guy. He drives me but I trusted him because he's a whiskey guy.
Right.
And he was already he's a sommelier and has had all that training and all that kind of work, and was doing whiskey and was getting into it, and then eventually launched his whiskey channel, separated it from his wine channel.
Now he's doing,
and now he's at 10, 12,
he's doing
15,000
fantastic.
subs
So
as well.
if you're
Yeah.
not subscribed, go subscribe. to
Yeah,
Eric
and so unfortunately, because of Sean working so much, we haven't been at Sean's bar, so we haven't seen Molly in a while. So for those of you who don't know,
I see
Molly
Molly all the
is.
time.
We used to have a Molly cam, and Molly would come up, and we actually have a Molly coin
We do have Molly coins.
for patrons that they can get. But so
Molly,
thank you.
Molly's a
Thank
big
you,
part of
Eric.
it. But thank you, Eric,
Thank
so much.
you,
for
Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
And Jimmy Jazz.
How much time do we have on that?
How's that?
Timer? That's
The timer's
probably
probably.
getting close. 6 minutes. 6
Okay,
minutes
so I'm not.
Somebody asked how they could get in the raffle.
You post a comment with exclamation point raffle.
Moderators, please paste that text again if you could, please.
So Scott, what we're doing, and we want to make sure you get the shout out for this, is we're actually giving away these coins, and the coins come from I don't know
Your
if it's
idea.
your brain or Bart's brain, but the Scotch test dummies created these coins way back when.
It's still going.
That was I'll give the credit. Well, I'll give the credit to Bart for the idea, but the credit for me for the for it happening.
Effort.
Yeah, Bart talked a long time about we need to do coins. We should get these coins. We should do challenge coins. Coins. And finally, I was like, I'll do it.
Right.
So yeah, there they are.
They blew up. I mean, they're really an easy and awesome idea, and
they're useful.
They're useful. They have function, right?
Yep.
So,
We talked about them in our glass video this week.
And there's so many, and I mean, I've got five stacks of coins down here from other channels and ours and things. You know, you do a live, you just pull one out. So I grabbed one of yours. I was looking for your shirt, which I have, but it's not in its usual spot, so I couldn't put your boys' shirt on.
So it was interesting because we saw you doing these coins and we thought, do we want to do coins or not? And we were hesitant because they were your thing. I mean, you guys did the coins and you had been through a couple of batches of coins
and they were going hot.
and we were talking to you and you're like, do them. They're great. They're,
They're fun and it's a good
make
way
it
to
happen.
get your
It builds a
your market,
community.
your brand out there.
If all the whiskey tubers do it, then it's even bigger. So we tentatively put out our first set of coins. I don't remember how many.
And now I've got a case full of coins from a bunch of other tubers.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's how it goes. So how's the test dummies doing? How's Bart? Haven't seen him in a while.
Well, we've been, I got COVID in October and lost my sense of taste and smell. And last Saturday was 11 weeks.
Wow.
And it's still not back fully. I'm getting hints. I can tell you this is a whiskey. And it's kind of this. So this is the Naked Grouse. I get a little bit of like a honey sweetness on it. And that's about it.
If you need help, you can send samples.
Yeah,
to
we
me.
know your blog is lonely, so we'll help you.
Mark's got plenty of whiskey in his bar.
Yeah.
Not being able to taste puts a pretty good damper on a whiskey tasting YouTube show. So we went several weeks without any videos, and Bart did a couple little quick hitter reviews.
Yeah.
And then I should have started earlier, but I was like, well, I'll start doing shows, just kind of documenting where my palate is at. And I had my wife pour me something blind in here. And then I come in and try to figure out what it is. And I'm starting to get just, a little bit more here and there. So hopefully soon we're back to normal.
Well,
It's
I hope
essentially
so.
you're having to retrain your brain on how to taste and smell and all that. It's interesting.
Well, the thing is, and I think it actually might help just because it's really teaching me just, certain little hints of things. Like I can tell the difference between a Scotch and a bourbon just by the palate now.
Awesome.
Oh, so without being able to smell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Interesting.
interesting.
I'm not getting a lot of notes, or anything like that with it.
Orange thing I told you to try.
Yeah, I haven't. I've had a lot of suggestions come in, and I've heard that from several people.
Oh, really?
I just want to kind of naturally just kind of let it go. I'm doing all the vitamin packs, the vitamin C, B, D, and all that. But it's just I can't believe it's taken this long. When it first happened, I looked online, and the average is 8 days that a person loses
Really?
their taste and smell.
So you're just lucky.
You're above
I'm an overachiever.
Well, yeah. It's only because your job here is to taste and smell. It makes sense that you would take 12 weeks to come back.
Right. Can you draw unemployment for that, or?
I could try.
PPP loan.
I bet you're okay, right? Because nothing sounds good.
Yeah, I never really lost my my hunger or my appetite. I was still hungry and ate quite a bit.
Huh.
The first couple of weeks not tasting anything, and still I just use a lot of habanero seasoning just for spice, just to kind of get something. I could always get the heat,
Oh, yeah.
the habanero, the spice would attack, your tongue and your cheeks and stuff, but you just wouldn't taste anything. It's
Get
so
it on the back end.
That's what I was thinking too. Your body's like, what are you doing?
Install the day.
Nothing going in, something going out.
the way it's going around. You guys are lucky that the four of you have been able to stay COVID free.
Knocking on wood, man.
Yeah.
Been lucky. I mean, what the good news is, 3 of us work from home pretty much 100% of the time. Sean's
What
the
he's
one
saying
that
is
goes
I'm
in.
going to be the typhoid Mary of the group.
Yeah.
But he's so safe when he goes to work. I mean, when we all do our job, and honestly, our kids go to school. I mean, I don't know about your kids, but I mean, so it's like, well,
Mhm.
what do you do?
Well, and so the Indiana Blood Center, when you give blood, they test all the blood for COVID antibodies. I still have none, so I've been lucky so far.
But enough about that stupid thing. Let's talk about whiskey.
Amen to
So
that.
we're gonna pour something nice here. You want to pour this one or something else first?
We can do this because Alan
Let's
Ward's
do
on.
Alan's on.
So
Ward's on.
we're going to need to rinse glasses. really
Yeah.
good,
Which
though.
one? What is it?
This is a sample that I got from Alan Ward the last time I saw him. It is a 26-year-old signatory Brora. Let's see.
You got paper towels?
Bottled in 2007,
None here if you don't.
distilled in 81. It was in a sherry butt, cask number 1520. It was bottle 267 of 391. 57.1% ABV.
Oh, I know that's a good number on that. Kilkerran's 57 one. Isn't it?
I'm not arguing with
So
anybody.
Scott, can you still feel the alcohol burn? I mean, when you hit
Yeah.
so that you can tell the
You can tell it's
ABV,
hot.
you just can't tell all the flavors and things.
Yeah, and then peat. I can get peat. I still can't get sherry. I'll pour a good sherry dram once in a while, just kind of see, hoping that those sherry notes I start to pick up, and I'm not getting any sherry notes. But peat is really the main thing that I can differentiate.
Yeah, but the fact that you're a sherry head and you can't get your sherry notes, that's just like that's horrible.
I know. It'll
Uh,
be good when it comes back, though.
All right, I'll be the guy.
all right, somebody pour.
You need analytical tools for that.
And look, man, Dr. Scotch is here. It'd be great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you'd have a graduated cylinder, and we figure this all out.
Negative.
Man, our green room's filling up.
I know.
Yes.
So hey, where are we at on that countdown so we can give these things away and do a good?
It should be done by now.
It should be done. It is
Are we
done.
gonna
So
finish
let's
this tonight?
pick a winner, and then we'll cheers the winner. I think so. Might as well.
Oh, I'm very excited about this.
Oh, this is one of those things-
Backstory,
You
I
can
already
tell
had some.
when we don't talk and we're just staring at the whiskey. We're like, this is going to be pretty good.
So tell us about Brora. What's the story on Brora?
It was Klein Leash, right?
Yeah.
Was.
Back in the day.
Has not been.
But then they built a
distilling.
new distillery and then they renamed it and it was all confusing and
And then
then
they
they
shut it down.
So you don't see a whole lot of Brora, and when you do,
Let the thing sit.
it's
So-
amazing. Give me
So
a coin, please.
when was the last time that Brora? Well, let's use this coin that we're giving away. Coin number 10.
Some over there.
It's
pretty.
Here, there's Wheelhouse. There's Burnt
So
Toast.
you're gonna have a little Brora
You need
fumes
Mars
on them.
So this is coin number 10 that we're giving away like in 2 seconds.
Indeed.
Let's do that right now. So let's pick the winner
Scotch
of
Wars.
this set already. Out of how many we got? Out of 62 people that
All right.
typed it in.
That's
Winner
good odds.
is.
62 people. Winner
Is it me?
Who wants to say that?
Try Carita UK.
There it is.
Tricorita UK. Tra UK.
I think
I
that's
see
a
that.
Try-
patron.
try UK.
I think it's a patron. Awesome. Congratulations.
It should have come up in the
There you go.
There you go,
comments
There it
here.
is right there.
So you have won a complete set batch or
Second
serial number 10 of second fill coins.
We're using them right now.
They are
slightly used.
they are absorbing
Should I
Brora.
shake really hard so you get a little bit of scent on them?
That's
We
a good
need
idea.
send us an email at Scotch for Dummies. Yep, it says it. I'm saying what the bot already says. You know, our
Okay.
Streamlabs, our bot used to hit on Eric Waite quite frequently back
That was
in the day.
Nightbot.
That was Nightbot.
They got divorced and Nightbot retired.
Is that what ended up happening?
Yeah, Nightbot and Eric Wade were like,
Oh, he hated that thing.
So what do you pour, Scott? Karen?
Yeah, the 8-year sherry cask.
Yeah. Is
Yes.
that your
Yeah.
last bottle?
Yeah, right now. Well, it started to show up in the States a few weeks ago.
I was going to ask if you've seen it yet locally.
So, no, but I'm watching and looking. So,
We've seen it show up and disappear before it hits the shelves.
oh, really?
Putting it out on shelves.
Most of these places are holding it in the back and not even putting it on the shelves.
Yeah.
It's like people are looking for it or something.
I don't think anybody around here would be. I don't see any store around here doing that. But
Well, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot because, I mean, we talked about it high and low on every show, and it ended up being our whiskey of the year, and now we can't find it.
Well, I could say as a sherry head, what's your view of this? Now, were you able to taste it before you got COVID, so you kind of had a understanding of it?
yeah, this is probably, I'll bet you, a year old, our review on that from when it was released in the UK.
Yep.
I really liked it. And it comes off, when we reviewed it, I can remember this. I mean, it feels like a 15-year-old Scotch.
It
Easy.
does, absolutely.
It's so rich, and there's just so much depth to it that even though it's only 8 years old, the impact of that sherry cask is so great. It's delicious.
Oh. Brora is being reopened soon. Graham says this is true.
Yes.
I don't know the timeline on it.
Good luck matching it. So let's
It's
discuss.
kind of like Port Ellen being reopened soon, right? Like it's going to be reopened.
Look, Bob's on.
You know, hey Bob.
So let's give a quick discussion of what this whiskey has.
I will say that there are a few closed distilleries that get a lot of hype. Brora, Port Ellen, Rosebank. There's a couple of smaller ones that I really enjoy, like Imperial and Dallas Dew, but there is just something about Brora.
So I'm getting leather and flowers on the nose.
Yeah,
I'm getting musty leather.
It's interesting because the initial hit was that leather, but then as I nose deeper, I get it's like lightning. It's really weird.
I'm gonna make you guys laugh again. I'm getting like hints of fruit via Lucky Charms. Like when you smell Lucky Charms.
Artificially flavored.
I'm not getting that.
So you're saying a delivery method. I'm getting fruit via Lucky Charms.
As in Lucky Charms fake artificial flavoring.
See, I'm getting like it's got fruity notes, like deep, rich fruit, and musty notes. But then there's like a lavender that's kind of on the top level,
like prunes and dried figs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's got a like a peanut brittle kind of thing going on also on the nose.
On the peanut brittle?
Yeah.
I haven't tasted it yet, so.
Oh, you should taste it. Calm down though.
Huh. I almost have a Rice Krispie treat flavor in it. It's got a punch, man. It does. It's 57.1 all day.
Need water.
Oh wow.
Because
How
that's
about that
lot
sit
to
for a
it.
second? I see.
Delicious.
It is
Master
delicious.
Drum's in the comments. I saw Sunday Evening Scott say, "Hey, Master Drum." I'm like, how does he know he's in the green room? He's not. Mash is commenting. All right, I got it. I'm catching on. I'm so fast.
Wow, I'm gonna need a little.
Yeah, so this is a classic whiskey. It's not over sherried. It's not over peated. It's just there. Great whiskey stored in ex-bourbon barrels.
Marshmallow. And
I could just sip on this one little bit for a long time. Long
I
time.
think I'm
It's
going
really
to a little
good.
bit here.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I'm not getting
We
in a
had
hurry
2 hours
back
ago,
up.
so.
I may set it aside and get something else.
that's not
To
a
be
bad
honest
idea
with you.
either. Don't spill it.
Oh, I dropped the coin.
Don't do that.
I'm not going to be hitting that too
So-
hard.
Scott, what's going on for you guys this year? Got any plans? Any big events? I know you guys are kind of just slowing down right now, waiting for this to kind of heal up, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're getting closer to the end of our careers. A couple years left for me and Bart. Probably he says 3 to 5 years, but once we get retired and can settle into this, a little bit more consistently and maybe even a little bit more full time. Right now, we're really just kind of trying to keep up doing what we've been doing, which is 2 shows a week, and
that's a lot.
That's a lot of work.
I mean, yeah.
Yep. So
Bart,
yeah,
you trained well. I mean, Bart's got you trained real well. You do all the work, and he shows up with a smile and yells.
yeah.
at the-
Bart comes up with the ideas, and I implement them. So
He's the idea guy.
He's an idea guy. Right, John?
Takes all kinds, man. I mean,
Scott, I have no idea what they're talking
Oh
about.
my gosh.
some people are glass polishers and some people are mug chuggers. I don't know what to tell you.
He said mug chuggers.
I
Interesting.
don't know how that works, but okay.
I'm not sure what I want to say back to that one, you chugger. You mother chugger.
I am going to set this aside and I would like something.
So talking about our journey, Scott, you know, Drew and I came out for your guys' big 5-year anniversary
Yes.
back in the day. And that was one of our first big whiskey tube gatherings, if you will. I mean, we ended up being able to meet just a ton of subscribers from both channels. I mean, it was really an awesome time. You guys really put together a hell of an event. Good food, good whiskey. Actually, probably some of the funnest time was in the lobby in the hotel where everybody's breaking out the bottles and you're just like eating so many amazing whiskeys and people just sharing it so freely. I remember George Kaplan pulling out some Lafroigs and he's like, we'll open it. And I'm like, really? You want to open this? And he's like, well, that's what I brought it for. And I'm like, okay.
You brought it to the right guy, right?
I got you on that, but that was such a good time. And we were looking to do something very similar last year, but it just, thanks COVID.
Yeah.
Hopefully things open up and we can still do something. I mean, when they open up, we will do something. I know that much. We're still going to make it over the pond. I definitely was very envious of your guys' trip that you guys took. Because it was very focused on this as opposed to a family vacation. Not saying I didn't have fun during the family vacation, but we were really looking forward to just being able to be eyes on the prize the whole time.
Whiskey.
And you guys had a great trip planned that COVID just took out. Said not today.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're not alone, at least. So that's everybody else on the globe.
No.
That's right.
My liver's probably in better shape since we didn't get on that bus, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I might have had a transplant since then. Yeah.
That might have been some intervention somehow from our
Divine intervention.
These guys are going to kill themselves. Let's
give them a couple years and then do it.
Let's do a global pandemic instead. Yeah.
Stop it all. Lana Lou says, hi, Scott. Oh, he saw it.
Hello, Lana. Huh? Lana was at the celebration too.
Yep, she was at that. Exactly. That's where I met her.
Well, Scott, we're going to bring in Jason. We're welcome to stay on. And then also tonight, I'm not sure if you're sticking around or not, but we have the after party. We'd love to have you with our patrons if you're willing to step in, Zoom call. So we're going to watch Sean chug Scotch out of that glass mug that he had in the last video.
I get carried away. Someone's got to work tomorrow.
He was talking a big game 5 minutes ago. All right.
I don't, no commitment. I might make it. If send me the link or whatever for it, I might be able to jump in.
Sure.
Jason.
Hey, what's up, Scotty Too Hottie?
Superstar.
Awesome.
That's great, man.
That's awesome.
All right, I'll let you guys go. Jason, take care. Good to see you.
Here's my help you're feeling better, man.
Yep. Congratulations, Dummies.
Scott.
Feel better,
Cheers,
Scott.
everybody.
Thanks, brother. All right. Look at that guy.
Look at this, the 25 All-Stars. I love it.
Always makes me want to grow a beard.
You're still hitting it out of the park, I see. How's life, man?
Doing good, doing really well, man. I can't complain. Just I'm obviously not in the whiskey room tonight. I'm somewhere else, but there was no way I was missing celebrating with you guys. So
Really appreciate it,
man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
buddy.
it.
Appreciate that.
You got me wondering, is the whiskey room just a green screen or
That's okay.
it's all CGI, man.
Just tea.
it's just colored water?
CGI.
CGI, yeah. It's actually I'm drinking iced tea the entire time.
No, the channel's doing good though. You're still firing on all cylinders, having a good time still, or
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just did let's see, last week did it back to back with Fred Minnick. Monday and Tuesday night. We had about 900 people in the chat. It was crazy.
Wow.
I think both I think Fred and I have talked. It's something we're going to be doing, I think, from here on out, coming the rest of the year for 2021. We're going to be doing a Minnick and Mash and Minnick like one night every month. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, I was chatting with you a couple of days ago, man. From one editor to another, I got to tell you, man, I'm jealous of what you've become. I mean, I've seen you grow from, and obviously we've both grown, but the stuff you're doing, man, is just polished. I love the style, very manly looking. I just really good stuff lately, man.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it took a lot of watching videos and self-taught tricks. And I mean, I went from, you set up your tripod, and then I literally had like my camera on a dish towel.
right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
you just kind of set the bottle. You just kind of drag the towel, get like a nice.
Hey, that's a trick. It works though, right?
It works good. And yeah, now I've moved up. I actually have like a nice professional slider that just does it for me, which is kind of cool. But
That's awesome.
You know what?
That's
That's the part nobody ever gets to see of all this stuff is all the equipment that you end up with. Like I got a basement full of stuff that was like the best that we could buy at the time that we don't use anymore, and we've moved up to other stuff, and now we've got this whole rig that Drew put together. But
Yeah, you
I mean,
do.
I'm
that's
buying new stuff next week.
like what? None of the viewers get to see that stuff, but it makes a big difference on the quality of the video that you put out.
yeah, it does. I'm actually working on a video for my patrons right now to actually show my setup and what I do when I'm, from filming one video. When I do a review, not the full, how long it takes, but just the process and how I kind of shift my whole whiskey room when I'm doing B-roll, the videos and and lighting and everything. How just, me and Drew could probably talk for hours on it because we know, but I was lucky. I did have some editing experience before doing the channel. It just wasn't, like Drew said, it wasn't nearly as polished as where it is now. I think I'm at a good point where now I could start adding some. If you watch my top 10 bourbons of the year, I added some special effects in there. It got a little bit crazy.
You can get in the rabbit hole for sure when you start getting crazy like that. Oh, I'm gonna do this, and then you start doing it, you're like, oh my god,
What did I do?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to know when to say this isn't going to work.
Good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough. But real quick, are you using DaVinci or using Adobe? Just out of curiosity.
Adobe. I use Premiere.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Jason, what's your motivation to continue to build your skills and build your? I mean, it's a lot. It's more work every layer you get. So you have to have some reason to want to do that. What is kind of your reason for?
I'm on the spot. Why don't you?
For building?
Honestly, I think for me is not to put any other, not to say anything else about any other channels, but I think we all have the goal. We want to be the best we can be, and I always feel like as long as I'm doing this and as long as it's fun, I'm always going to look for ways to improve, whether it be my delivery, whether it be the way I review, adding some new type episodes to it, the lighting, the camera, whatever it may be. I'm always going to look to bring the best product to the viewers, because without the community viewing and without the community in the chat room and everything that goes on from week to week, the community grew so big and it got a lot tighter knit, with this whole COVID thing that we just went through. And, and just because of that, I'm working my ass off to try to bring the best quality and the best show, the best honesty and whatever I can. And
it shows, brother. It shows.
It's just like you guys, you guys, that you have people that watch your channel, no matter how good it is or how bad it is, it really doesn't matter. If you have a palate, if I was watching you guys and my palate lined up with you, I'm probably going to be watching you anyway. But if you could do that, and then on top of that, bring a really high quality show, then you got something special. So.
Yep. Okay, that's cool. It's self-motivation. There's nobody paying you extra to do all that extra time.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to provide that quality. That's
all self-motivation. It's just wanting to put out the best content that you can. So
I love it.
We don't, honestly, we're the same exact way. We don't make a dime off of anything, and whatever we get, we put right back into buying gear or supplying for reviews or whatever. We don't pay a single dime to each other. It's
pretzels for Molly.
To me, pretzels. We're gonna buy some pretzels every once in a while, but to me, it's all about product.
Pretzel.
You want to put forth a good product, and it's. I don't know about you, but I'm like learning. I'm always on YouTube, just scouring, looking at getting ideas, and you always want to try to just bring it to the next level every other month or so, just to try. Yeah,
that's what it's all about, man. Just self-improvement and keep bringing it. So you got to be having fun too, and obviously drinking the whiskey makes it a lot better.
Doesn't hurt.
But what year did you start? How many years have you been at it now?
A little over 2 years. That's it.
Really? I remember the first time we talked, we reached out and, it was like, all right, man, this guy's new on the scene. And man, it's like, you looked around the car and said, you guys better strap in. And you punched it and there he went. It's like, oh, Jason.
Yeah.
That guy just took off.
How long you been doing this now? Two years?
Yeah.
So like first year you were kind of like, you're cruising along, all of a sudden, boom, you're just like you
Yeah.
just said.
I got
it is, and it's like we talked about earlier. It's just kind of improving the content, and once you get to a spot where I think a lot of people appreciated the history and the backstory that I was putting into the reviews, which was kind of like my niche in the beginning. If that's what I wanted to bring to YouTube overall and WhiskyTube, but then once it got further on, I'm like, okay, I got my history down. How can I make this? And obviously I've seen other channels that do just amazing jobs with like B-roll and all that stuff. And I just want to get better at it and improve my lighting, my camera, all that stuff. And then once that happened, I just think I'm very lucky to have people that respect my palate, what I think about bourbon and other whiskeys. And it's been going great. I'm about 1,200 subs from 40K. So I'm excited.
You're almost 40K up already.
Right.
So.
You're killing it, dude. I got to tell you, there's
Yep.
a reason why you're killing it, not just for production, but you're right. You're so knowledgeable. Like I watch your stuff, and I'm like, damn, this guy knows his stuff. We're lucky. We're dummies, and we can look. It's easy for us to put that persona up front because we are dummies and we're learning. But when you watch your stuff, man, it's like, wow, this guy knows his stuff. You do a really good job of researching and putting a lot of work into it.
No, I appreciate it, but I gotta say, I think I've told you guys this when I started my Scotch journey. I watched you. I watched Scotch. Obviously, I watched Scott and Bart. But you two guys are pretty much the main channels I watched when I wanted to dive into Scotch a little bit more. So I always will appreciate that coming from you and from Scott and Bart for sure.
The community is not just our subscribers or patrons or viewers or whatever you want. It's also, the other whiskey tubers that are doing this day in and day out and collaborating and sharing the information. I mean, to me, it's never been a competition about us on another channel. It's always been about what we're doing.
And I will say, behind the scenes, viewers don't know it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it is a lot of work.
For no pay.
And you have to love what you're doing. And there's a lot of people that, we've seen startup channels. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to come out of the gate and we're going to do this and that. And like 3 weeks in, they're like, man,
I'm out.
You guys just keep doing this like forever. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, maybe.
So before we move on, I did want to show you guys. I haven't opened this yet. I just got this bottle. I figured this is a perfect time to open it with you guys. Yeah, one of my favorite distilleries in the world, Bunnahabhain.
I can tell by the bottle.
Yeah, this is a 16-year hand-filled PX Sherry Bunnahabhain.
Oh my goodness!
Yep.
I think we need to meet somewhere soon.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been nosing this for the last half hour. I haven't sipped it yet, so I'm gonna enjoy this with you guys. I just want to say, congrats on 25K. You guys have been blowing up real quick, real soon, and I mean, it's just a testament to what you guys are doing. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you.
We
We
really
appreciate it.
Much, man.
That Brora was absolutely
I
exquisite.
still got mine.
Yeah, I'm saving it.
I
for-
finished it. I drank
So
it.
I got to ask if we can kind of probe into your life. Does your other job, is it related to video editing or graphics and things like that? I mean, share as much as you're willing, but I'm just kind of curious about why you're so good so fast at the skill.
Yeah, in the beginning, I was doing editing. I went to school for both graphic design and also marketing because I wanted to know both sides of the business because I wanted to get into marketing.
Wow, perfect.
So I didn't really do video editing until a little bit further down my career when I was working for some dude who, let's just say that my old boss thought very highly of himself and liked to do a lot of videos and about everything he was doing. He was basically like a biopic, like following him around with a camera. Then once I started editing all that stuff together, I got really good at it, and I figured that would help me into the whiskey tube experience. But when you're first starting out, if you have good editing, you have good lighting, good audio, you can get started pretty easily. But some of the channels that are starting out now are so far beyond, and they've already got so much great stuff. But I think, like you said, the testament to keep doing this is realizing how much work it does become.
Yeah. And so when did you get into whiskey? Was it just before you started doing lives, or have you been doing whiskey all your life?
No, I got into whiskey in about 2013, 2012-ish. And I mean, I started with bourbon. I was drinking a bottle of Booker's. A lot of people know the story. I got a bottle of a pour of Booker's at the local bar. And I never tasted a bottle of bourbon like that. I was drinking like Wild Turkey 101 in college and stuff like that. So, you know, tasting a whiskey uncut, unfiltered, all that flavor, I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah. And that kind of started me into trying whatever I could find. And then I moved from New York to Ohio in 2016. And then, you know, I didn't know too many people here. And then that's when I was really kind of engrossing myself in YouTube and watching you guys and other channels, and I couldn't stop. And I was trying to learn as much as I could. And that's when it kind of hit me. Like, no one really dives into the real history of the bottles. Yeah, I mean, it tastes great or whatever, but I want to know what's going on behind this. And then that's when I started reading books. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a channel and see how this goes. And then 2 years later, here we are.
Boom.
Ain't looking back now.
Yeah, cool. I love the origin story. That's what's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sean, are you excited for the Aqvavitae challenge I called you out for?
I've been thinking about it. I'm not apprehensive. I mean, I've talked to these guys about it because I honestly really enjoy blind challenges.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. It's nice because you can't be wrong, right? Like, you can be wrong, but not really.
Yeah.
I sat in the basement and watched Drew do his blind challenge when he got called out.
Mhm.
And I mean, Roy is the whiskey's on trial, not you. And his challenges to me are they're laid out in such a way that it really kind of takes the pressure off you. You are the analytical tool to decipher the whiskey. And so, I mean, I'm actually excited about it. And the stuff that he picks is always exciting and fun. And he kind of puts it to the individual palate. He puts a lot of work into it.
He does. Yeah. He really thinks about it. He thinks about the drinker. He thinks about the experience. Even the order is kind of set up to kind of trip you up a little bit. He only, as he always says, he always has a banana peel in there waiting for you.
Yes. And
so that's the first time I got to try that Kilkerran 8 that you guys love so much. And
you blind?
I was like, where the hell do I get a bottle of this? And actually, Zach Andrews in the chat helped me get one, and I couldn't thank him enough. I thought that whiskey was so amazing. Roy was a little upset at me because I chose, not only did I choose the Kilkerran, but I chose I believe it was a Taiwanese whiskey over his beloved Klein Leash, like 21-year-old, whatever it was. He was like, really? You choosing that over the Klein Leash? I'm like, yep.
You like what you like, man. It's fine. I am excited for it though. Like we put together blinds and stuff for other people, and it is very difficult to go through your whiskey collection and think about and think about, you know, how these whiskeys are similar or different.
Mm-hmm.
And what you want the person to get out of, you know, the tasting. It's not just about like, I go drink 6 or 7 drams and let me know how you feel. It's a very analytical process of, you know, what are you getting out of the aroma and the flavor and the mouthfeel, and how do you feel about that at the end of the day? And it's hard.
Yeah, I gotta say, Sean, I saw that list. I took one look at that list. I'm like, Sean's on this list? Sean.
Man.
Get the chef. Bring the chef in. Bring him.
I love it though, man. I really do. And the whiskey community is so much fun. So I'm really jazzed about it.
It's funny because he's not really been to see. He's seen it. He's all tough guy, but there's pressure. Don't let him bullshit you. There's pressure. Yeah, you're not. The whiskey's on trial. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, you know, there's no wrong answer.
But
he's
you're
right,
on camera.
But you don't want to mess up.
There's that part of you that wants to do good. Like, you want to be able to at least provide good.
Yeah.
And, you know, not get like a 1 out of, 1 out of 10.
Thank God we did okay, buddy. Let's see what he does.
Right, good.
It's not a competition. I'm not worried about it.
I'm still mad that I didn't get I didn't call out that the Kilkerran as the Campbelltown. I should have known better. But
Yeah, that one is weird.
Honestly,
that's
it's a
not
tricky-
It's a
typical-
tricky one.
Yeah.
For an 8-year, Scott said it earlier, you know, it drinks much older.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
just,
the thing that played in my head was the age thing, because there was a super aged whiskey in there. I'm like, there's no way this could be that young. So that's what kind of tripped me up. Then that's that's the famous banana peel that he likes to add in. So
Yep.
For
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, he knew what he was doing.
And you can second guess that also.
Thank
Like
you,
you know
Richard.
it's coming.
Thanks, Richard.
Richard, that's cool,
Welcome
man.
to the journey, man.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other part about that whole thing is, there's going to be something in there that's designed to mess you up. So then you're in there second guessing yourself and like, okay, well, it could be, I don't know. I mean, we've done several blinds. And
Attaboy.
I've been wrong enough to know that I just like shoot from the hip and we'll see what happens.
I love watching you guys do blind tasting. That's hysterical.
You know what though? It sharpens your blade. It
Wait,
sharpens your blade
it's
too. though.
hysterical. What's that?
Because we're like,
Yeah, because you guys all have what I think the beauty of your channel is. You guys, I mean, you're similar, but you also guys have very different palates. And when you guys review one whiskey and you're picking out different flavors round robin style, you all have very distinct palates that pick up different things. So when you put that into a blind tasting, it's really fun to watch.
So here's something for you that we're going to start doing this year. We haven't officially announced it,
What?
but we would love for you to maybe participate in this. We're thinking about doing some bourbon stuff. We don't know crap about it. You might be the guy to help us out a little bit, so we'll have to talk about it. So
Well, I will set you up a hell of a blind because I do it all the time.
I don't want to do
Mark's very excited about it.
Mark, like, I don't want to do. So,
You can't make me.
so when you come from a Scotch world, we have peated to sherries to bourbon cask. It's such a breadth of flavors.
Yep.
And when you get to bourbon with the restrictions of new oak and corn, it seems to us, or seems to me, it's a very narrow flavor.
Yeah, but have you guys seen the bourbon shelves lately?
Oh, they're full. They're huge.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's not just that. You have the purists that don't want to call a finished bourbon still a bourbon. But aside from all that, that argument, you have bourbons now that are being finished in a combination of rum and sherry, cognac and sherry, sauternes. I mean, you name it. There's a bunch of sherry finished bourbons out there.
Okay.
You're also combining different grains. You have rye, you have wheat, you have a bull rye, which is a blend of a rye and a bourbon. People doing different grain mash bills. I mean, the flavor profile, and just like now we're looking at, it's probably not as diverse as Scotch in Scotland, but with the way bourbon has grown throughout the United States over the last 6-7 years, this is where terroir now is really playing a part in the taste of bourbon.
So no, I'm gonna
maybe we need to have.
I'm gonna mute him.
Maybe we need to have a Mark blind challenge.
So those won't be like Kentucky straight bourbons because they've been finished in something else, right? I mean, can they still legally put bourbon on the label, or are they?
Well, that's the thing. They do. It still says Kentucky straight bourbon, but as long as you say finished in X whatever, then.
See, I had no vision of that. I did not know that was happening. So very interesting. Yeah.
I think that says it right there, boys, that they're willing to list.
Here's the bourbon. So it's going to be bourbon for dummies.
I mean,
coming through.
I have to drink this stuff for work. So I'm fine with it.
See, I don't have to drink it for
And
work.
you don't come in and try a nice breakfast rum before you
I mean, if I gave you guys a bourbon from Texas, a bourbon from Washington State, a bourbon from Kentucky, and a bourbon from New York, you guys would probably, they have such 4 distinctive flavor profiles. You would, if you've only really had bourbon from Kentucky, then you're I could see why you're thinking within that little box. Bourbon with the regionality and also the flavor profiles and the finishing aspects of it today, and the grain mash bills and the different types of corn varietals. I mean, it's a wide open space right now.
Well, that's what we're looking at. We've been talking about it. We don't know exactly how we're going to approach it. I know some people want to do it, some people don't want to do it. But
Mark looks very scared.
Bourbon
You'll be fine.
So Jason, I would ask, if you need dummies to bring on your channel to show how to educate new people on whiskey, call us because we'll join you and be complete.
If you guys want to set up a kind of a blind tasting Roy style, but I'll do it a little bit differently. Maybe talk more about regionality and maybe even something finish using. I mean, so many bourbons now are using like combinations of rum and sherry. PX, stuff like that. So there's a lot of that going on in the bourbon world, and I'd be interested to get your guys' take on it. So if you guys do the blind tasting, I'll be glad to come on with you and kind of talk you through it, reveal the bottles, and we can see what you guys pick out.
So I will ask, and then we've got to move on a little bit. One more question. We've noticed with scotches, the Scotch region is becoming less important as people finish in different barrels, and Highlands will use peated cask and peated whiskey. Yeah. Do you see terroir? Is Washington really different, or is it just that they're using a different kind of cask, and that's why it's different?
It's different because when you taste a pure bourbon that's just been, again, if you're just talking about straight new American oak, using your basic corn rye malted barley, and you put those and you line those up, there's an absolute flavor profile difference from the region that it's at. Yep.
Those aging conditions are completely different in Washington than they are in Kentucky.
Correct. I mean, weather's different. The grains that are grown, especially if they're growing their own stuff.
That's what I was going to say. They're producing, they're gathering, sourcing grain from Virginia. They just happen to be distilling it in Washington. Is it
correct? So you have the guys that are growing grains in Texas, growing grains in Washington, California, wherever it may be. They are definitely going to have some different flavor profiles. But just like in Scotch, sometimes a young bourbon, they will hide the youth of it with a cask finish. Rather than, because if they know the whiskey's not really up to par yet, they'll throw it in a finishing cask just to kind of hide that a little bit. But the really good bourbon distilleries and new craft ones that are coming out, even at 2, 3, 4 years old, if you could taste, you could taste the future of that. You could see that it's on its way to being something special in 6, 7, 8 years.
Wow.
Sure.
Okay.
Nice.
Sure.
Dr. Scotch would be interested in all that discussion.
Yeah, we got some good content coming up. But dude, it's good to see you. Let us bring in another guest so you can say hi to him and do a little handoff.
Probably
Rob,
know
are
this
you
guy.
ready to go?
Who's coming in?
You don't know this guy?
Let's give him this train. Here he is.
I know this guy.
Next week.
I think you know this guy.
That's my fellow jabroni from Canada.
What's going on?
It's the other guy who makes me want to grow a beard.
I was just gonna say, I think I need to adjust the lighting in here. It's so dark because of this stupid beard.
And Rob shaved this morning.
Look, this is the first ever a super chat from a guest. Super chat at the same time.
What? That's crazy.
The internet just broke.
The internet just broke, man. That is awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
I need another glass.
I do too.
We got
What's going on? Jason, what's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you too.
You're drinking Spring Break, Rob. What brought Spring Break up?
I just got this bad boy, and it's a bottle split with a buddy of mine. Honestly, to get this bottle was like I literally had to kill, cheat, steal, bribe, whatever else the saying. This one right here, the Madeira 17-year-old.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
What's that?
So, yeah, it was a lot of work and big pain in the ass to get. It's getting harder and harder to get Springbank these days. But I have a live myself coming up, so I'm going to review it on the live. So not tonight, but I wanted to get a little bit more familiar with it.
And
I still haven't taken a sip tonight, but my first go with it was pretty. I thought it was excellent.
It sounds great. There was a Madeira cask finish of a Glenfiddich that I was on the hunt for a long time. It was an Age of Discovery Madeira cask and never found it. And finally gave up on it. And honestly, I don't know if we've had a Madeira. I'm sure we've had a Madeira.
I think we've had one.
I don't even remember what it is.
Kill somebody with that thing.
They're hard to come by. There's a few more out there now, but they're not very prevalent. Let's say
Rob,
that.
what happens? You got to get someone from the family to help you get that bottle?
I did actually. I had to ask a couple favors, and I don't know what the payback's gonna be, but I'm probably gonna have to take out a couple people.
All right, guys. Well, I'll let you get on with Rob here. And again, thanks for having me on. Congrats on all the success. And I will see you.
Great to see you. We'll be in touch, brother.
Jason,
Hey, by the way, if you want to stick around for the Patreon after show, I'll send you a link.
Hey.
All right, yeah, I appreciate that. Cheers, man.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Cheers.
Later.
Uh-oh. Look at that guy.
Jabron.
Man, it's
Dude, how-
great to
it's
see
great
you.
to
What's going on, boys? What's going on? It's been a minute. It's been a while.
How long have we been like
Long
working
time.
with it?
How long we been at this together?
We pretty much. I mean, I think I started like I don't know, 2 months or a month after you guys. Not much.
much.
So over 5 years.
We've been grinding the whole time.
And you're telling me there's not one gray hair in that beard? This is bullshit.
Look closely, man. There's tons of gray.
Oh, there are a couple, yeah.
It's getting there.
Just for men can't fix right there.
These are all named after my kids right here.
Oh, gosh. How many kids are you up to now? I remember when your first one was born.
Yeah, so I have two. When you guys put together that big thing, that was for my second. That was my daughter. But yeah, so I have the two. My wife and I are teaching virtually, trying to teach help our son learn virtually in SK, and then my daughter's running around. She's 3. She's not quite in school yet, so it's a disaster. But yeah.
Now, I mean, you're not alone. We're all in this together.
Absolutely. Yeah, I shouldn't be complaining.
Yeah, my wife's a French teacher, and she's teaching virtually from school. But
Yeah, that's what I was doing for a while too. It makes zero sense, but
yeah, she has to
then
go.
again, what the hell makes sense anymore anyway, right?
Nothing makes sense. That is up and that is down. Just,
Right? I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
all right. It's good to see you, though. The channel's doing good. You're still smiling. You're still putting out content and cranking away, man.
I love the mean tweets, man. That was a good one.
Oh my God.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun more than anything else.
And you just popped 10K, and now you're 10.5. So it's going. It's good.
You know what? It's doing okay. I mean, like you guys said, it's a grind, right? Like it's
Jesus.
I mean, I just recently got a guy helping me do my edits and stuff like that. But up until about 5 months ago, it was just me grinding it out, right? And then, so with the 2 kids, with the full-time job, teaching kickboxing on the side, and then doing this, I basically I don't sleep. So,
Right.
That's-
Not to mention maintaining a marriage, right? I mean, you
oh yeah, there's always that too. Yeah,
it doesn't happen. You have
yeah.
to,
You also have to have a very good wife, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
real.
well, so let me
We're all
ask
lucky.
you: has your wife watched any of your videos?
No, she could care less. She does.
Pretty common theme too.
We teach fitness together. She teaches a high intensity interval training class. We have that Sixer kickboxing thing plus fitness, and like she does the fitness aspect to it. I do the kickboxing aspect to it, and that's like our commonality, like the thing that we work on together. And she's actually been taking the driver's seat with that a little bit more than I have in the last little while, just because I've been working on this a little bit more recently. So.
We missed
Good.
this when Jason was on, so
Thanks,
we're
Jason.
doing
Thanks,
a
Jason.
post. He doesn't see it, but maybe he will. Thank you, Jason,
Yes.
for that.
I gotta try this bad boy.
I forgot how good the Signet is. Oh my gosh.
It's
Yeah,
delicious.
so we opened the bottle of Signet, and that coffee malt.
It's so delicious.
So we actually got this. We're just a little insider information. We're getting ready to shoot another review on this, a re-review on this one. We're having it right now, so it's kind of cheap. We have to wait a little bit now, but
Yeah.
it's coming back up. So watch.
I'm not going to have it after I have a Brora, I can tell you that.
No,
It's wonderful. We do have one more other bottle to open before we.
I know, we're gonna
because-
open it.
Yeah, we're gonna open
we're
that
breaking it
tonight.
up. break
Is
it
it that
up.
one giant leap?
No. Now that
Is it
would
that
be-
one giant leap?
We could
No.
do that one giant. Do you have a bottle of that one giant leap?
Jeremy and I did a bottle split on that one. So he's got it now. I did a review a few months back. It was good.
I like that one. There were a lot of good kind. A lot of people like that one, but all the follow-on bottles, and they had, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, a bunch. Yeah.
There's
They've been hit or miss from what I've seen. I didn't.
Eagles landed, and there's a couple others.
Yeah, I didn't follow through the series. I didn't realize it was going to be that much of a commitment when I bought the one giant, and so I just didn't feel the need to keep going on that one.
I'm finding now with just independent bottles in general, it's really hard to like keep track. Like in general, it's hard to keep track, but now it's getting harder and harder because you've got all these indie companies coming out trying like pushing their stuff, and you wanna try it, but like A, you need the money, B, you need the time, and unfortunately, we're not unlimited with both of those things. So
Let me ask you: Are you pretty successful acquiring Scotch online?
say that again. Sorry.
Pretty successful acquiring Scotch online. Do you order a lot online and get it shipped in? Are you okay doing that?
So basically I I do all phone work. It's all over the phone, and I'm never buying within my province because it's just like literally buying from the mob. They take all, like, you basically can't buy a reasonably priced bottle in my province because it's government run. So I buy all from Alberta, and I have to call these people and stuff like this, for example, literally calling them months in advance, make sure I'm on the list. And then the day that it comes out, you're like, well, am I on the list? No, you're not on the list. What's your name again? I'm like, oh, what do you mean? I've been calling you for like months asking for this bottle. So it's a hassle. Honestly, it's a lot. That I think there's one thing my wife wishes I would stop doing is buying from out of province and everywhere else, because it's so much work to get stuff here. That's the biggest problem.
I've really resorted to all online purchases for the vast majority of my Scotch. I order some stuff from SMWS still, maybe get a bottle here or there and locally, but for 90% of my purchases, they're all coming from overseas.
Yeah, see, we could do it. The problem is in Ontario, it would have to be marked as something else, because if you claim it as whiskey, you're paying 100% duties on it. So it's yeah. So like, you think your tariffs are bad?
I mean, our tariffs are bullshit, but that's worse.
Yeah. And that's the norm?
That's in Ontario, that's the norm. So if I go through Alberta, so I can buy from a UK, I'm not going to mention any sites because I don't want your sources to get spoiled, but I can buy from a UK site and then send it to Alberta and pay double shipping to get it here, and it would still be a fraction of the price of what I would. Yeah.
What the flip?
That's
time for you to move to Alberta, my friend.
Yeah, Bob has it right. It's
Or
glass.
you just move down here and just pay a little tariff, and you got whatever
Just
you
cross
need.
over to Michigan. Fine, although I wouldn't live in Michigan. I'm just-
Well, Jeremy and I he has his PO box in Michigan, and up until COVID, we were doing that, right? We were sending it to
Oh,
Michigan.
wow, yeah.
Now that doesn't work anymore.
Wow, man, that's nuts.
Do you
Yeah.
know what sucks? The closest any of us have ever gotten to actually meeting this guy is when I went with my family to Canada, and I was like a half mile away. And it was one of those deals where I could go see him. And I think you were doing some kind of a special tasting. Like you had some kind of really good Canadian whiskey that you guys were drinking. And I was like, man, I could probably just walk over there. And the wife gives me the look of, well, that's a choice. I'm like, maybe I'll go with wherever you guys are going. We were close.
I got to pause for a second. We got about 7 or 8 minutes left on the raffle. So we are giving away a first fill set number 10 of our coins, full set, 4 coins. These are not available anywhere right now, especially this low a number. So please put !raffle into the comments.
All one thing.
If you're not logged on as a person, create an account, log on, and then you just put in the comment and it'll be automatically entered into that raffle.
Yep.
So I guess what I'm saying is, Rob, I guess we need to come to Canada to visit you, right?
Well, one or the other. I got to come there. You guys got to come here. One or the other. We definitely got to meet up because this is getting ridiculous.
We've all been doing this for like 5 plus almost 6 years.
I was going to say.
We've never actually met in person. That's bullshit.
You know what's crazy is you've been doing this for 5 years and it's still whiskey in the 6. It should be 11 by now.
So yeah, 6 is just the other name.
He's just being a mark.
I'll give you an opportunity to explain it to anybody that doesn't
And
know.
throw a dad joke.
And throw a dad joke in. Come on.
That's how you get more gray hair, right?
Dude, I love it.
I like Michael's comment here that he should come down and visit us for our 6-year celebration.
Oh, damn.
That's
Touche.
for real.
Well, and plus,
Did you see Jeff Teamy's out?
if we do that, then we can have bottles ready for you to take back.
Jeff Teamy?
You know what else we could do? We could quick drive down to Bourbon Country and take this guy on a
Heck
tour.
yeah.
Oh, Bourbon Trail.
That I would love to do. Yeah, for sure. I definitely have to do that.
Yeah, we can go get liquored up and get in a bar fight. We got
Hey, you no problem. Hey,
Now you're speaking my language.
I just sit back. I'm good at getting in the fight and letting somebody else fight him.
We've been into enough
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
conversations.
That's awesome.
Mark does know how to sing karaoke and calm everybody down, though.
That's right.
Gosh, no, he doesn't.
I mean, I've weighed $150 my whole life, so I'm not much on fight.
Those are the
Doesn't
guys
mean I
that get you
won't
in
start
trouble.
it.
Rails are coming off, boys, a little bit.
I got to save some for the last of this.
Yeah, we got a big bottle to open. In a
Brora.
minute.
So what's on the plate for 21 for Whiskey in the Six? You got anything out there that you want to share? Anything like major announcements? Anything that you want to try to get done other than to survive like the rest of us?
As far as like videos and stuff like that, maybe not. I mean, I'm going to be doing a little bit of plugging. I am doing a barrel pick from a company in Vancouver. Their name is Shelter Point. I actually haven't even said this on my channel yet, so this is probably news to a lot of people, or anybody that follows me as well. Yeah. So Shelter Point is these guys right here, and they're doing a single malt, and they're doing an incredible job. They're pretty young. I think the oldest thing I have here from them is about 6 or 7 years old, and basically they're on Vancouver Island, and where they are, it doesn't get very cold ever. So the climate is maybe a little bit warmer than Scotland all year round. That in the summer, it's a lot warmer. In the winter, it's probably slightly warmer than Scotland. So you're getting a little bit faster maturation than what you would get in Scotland, right next to the ocean. You're getting that salinity from that ocean spray. And they're just, whatever they're using for barley and yeast is awesome. Everything's grain to glass. They have a farm that they do their own barley. So
I like that idea.
Yeah. So honestly, it's a really, really cool distillery. And I honestly think it's a couple months, if not maybe a year away from blowing up. Whiskey Vault has like pumped their tires a few times already. So I think they're going to get pretty big pretty soon. So I'm doing a barrel pick with them, which will be coming out in April, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
So
That's
cool, man.
exciting,
So that'll be a Whiskey in the Six bottle.
Yeah. It's going to be called the Whiskey in the Six.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're awesome, man. I'm
That's
awesome.
Your sponsors are awesome.
Oh, man.
Congratulations.
Good for you, dude.
Well, I'll definitely try to send you guys a bottle. I don't know how many I'm going to get. We'll see.
We'll buy
We'll buy a
bottle.
bottle. We'll buy a we got to get in line for that. That is super ethical, man. That's exciting. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Right?
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
We've been trying to do that for a while. It's just so hard.
It
So hard.
It is.
The U.S. laws are crazy.
Well, I mean, we kind of wanted to try to get a barrel from Scotland, but that takes a couple six figures, and
Yeah.
we're working.
Well, now that you guys are almost 30K, you guys are.
Oh, yeah. So
We're rolling.
it's
in the
funny you
dough.
say that. My wife was like, because she saw that we blew up. Well, I told her.
That's
right?
right.
Like,
Thank you very much.
they're not keeping track of that
No.
stuff. But she's like, so you got a bunch more subscribers. Like, are you guys making any money now? And I was like, yeah, we're rolling it now.
Yeah, we're making $16.
We're making
now.
0.2%
I was
more
like,
than we did last time.
Let me explain how this works. YouTube makes the money.
Yeah.
They throw you a scrap.
That's why you have to become patrons, right, Rob? Patrons.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Hit
And
up that Patreon.
none of us started this to replace our jobs. I mean, don't get me wrong.
No.
If all of a sudden YouTube said, "Hey, I want to start paying your salary and I'll match what you're making," I would quit my job. But that's not why we
Yeah.
got into it. I
That's
know
not
you
what
didn't just wake up one day and be like, "I want to do a YouTube channel to get rich."
No, yeah. If we were planning on getting rich, we wouldn't have done whiskey channels, I don't think.
No, that's not the right way. We've been doing stuffed animals or some stupid
we
crap.
girls in bikinis. And, yeah.
Disney toys. I don't know. Something.
Yeah, exactly. Exploit our children on toy reviews.
Well, it's those
Pays
kids that
better.
are making $11 to $15 million a year.
Yeah.
For God's
That's
sake.
insane.
Scotch guys aren't making that kind of money, I can tell you.
No,
Yeah.
But we do it for the love of the whiskey, right?
that's right.
The people. I mean, honestly,
Yep.
we have a good time doing it. It is.
It's the whiskey got us here. The people kept us here. That's what
Yep.
I agree to that. Man.
That's true.
We're all on the journey
We
together.
would be doing this whether the camera was on or off, but since it's on, we get to hang out with a bunch of cool people.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
built- you know,
That's true.
that's why we're set up like this, because that you're the fifth chair at the table at the bar. We're hanging out.
Yeah.
And actually, doing this allows these guys not to get their asses kicked in darts by me every Thursday night.
Yeah, that's how it worked.
Actually, not really. I mean, Drew's pretty good dart thrower. We all got our
His
games,
arm's halfway to the board,
Yeah,
so it's
but,
kind
I
of
mean,
cheating.
He's like 10 foot tall.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's like 6'5", so 6'6".
Like, look, 3 bullseyes.
I know.
I'm like, where's the bullseye?
That's awesome.
That's what started us all back 5 years ago, though.
Yeah. And now look at us.
Yeah.
Although I did see a comment, I don't know if you guys caught this today, but there was a guy that commented on our Macallan video, the Macallan for Dummies, that he had just started out and his first bottle of Scotch was a bottle of Macallan 12.
No
And that's what
shit.
started him on his journey. And I said, you know what? Funny that
Very
you say that.
Familiar start.
That's how we started.
That was our
Yeah.
first bottle. Yeah, as a group. Yeah.
And you've been through your Macallans.
Yeah, I probably like for the first time in, I would say someone asked me this today actually, because I put out a video basically saying stop buying big name cognac, and
Yeah, I saw the link.
and the guy's like, well, you should stop buying big name or Macallan because they're doing like it wasn't apples to apples, but I understood what he was saying, and I actually thought about it. I'm like, to be honest, I don't think I bought a Macallan in about a year. Like it's been at least a year since I've bought a Macallan. So I've reviewed a Macallan since then, but I haven't bought one.
Right. But I mean, if you look at it, you've loved Macallans. You're a Macallan fanboy over the last 5 years. I mean, honestly, I started off, I've got a shit ton of Johnny Walker bottles on. Yeah, I'm a Johnny Walker fanboy. I get beat up for it from time to time, but I mean, that's what started my journey, and I love them. And there's some that I like more than others, obviously, and some that I don't like at all. But I don't think I'll ever, divorce them. I'm not going out of my way to buy many bottles of them now because I've grown so much.
Yeah.
But I mean, same thing with Macallan. We started with Macallan 12, right?
But it's our most expensive bottle that we've ever tried.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Macallan.
Oh, the Macallan, the number 6 that you guys tried.
Yeah.
Macallan number 6.
And
So
I can tell you, opening up that bottle was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever done in my life.
that's why we
Ever.
did a video of that.
Like,
That's crazy.
like the unboxing of that bottle is the stupidest thing.
I'll give Macallan credit. Like all their fancy bottles that they have, the packaging and marketing.
It's
is
beautiful.
just unbelievable.
Even the foam,
Absolutely.
everything. is
Yeah,
done
everything about it.
wonderful.
You're like, wow, look at this foam. It's beautiful.
it was funny though.
It
This,
smells like sulfur.
we gave away a bunch of samples of that. Jimmy J commented today that maybe today will be the time to open
He still has it.
his
Holy
sample
shit.
of Macallan number 6. So I don't know if he did
That's
or not.
awesome.
If Jimmy J's still on, I'd like to know if you actually open that.
That's awesome that part of that bottle's still out there
It's still
somewhere.
out there.
It's
That's
cool.
awesome.
When I go to St. Louis, my brother-in-law, they have a bottle of that at the Total Wine there, and I always look at the glass and go, "It's like $6,000." And I was like, "I'm like, I had."
I've had
Here's a
one of those.
video of you drinking
Jimmy
this
J's
bottle.
is drinking it now.
Look
Awesome.
at it now. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Jimmy J, let's
Where
go.
is he at? Where is he at?
I don't know.
Look,
Wait.
he's drinking it now.
Macallan number
That's
6.
awesome.
He's drinking it.
Did you guys stash an ounce of that each and like in the future decide you're gonna open it or?
No,
Just
no.
crush
it. We
So
drank it all.
we poured enough samples
My
for
guys.
review,
Yeah.
and then we gave the rest of the bottle away.
Yeah.
Well, and we had like a couple of ounces for the live show,
Yeah,
and then everything else we just
Yeah,
we
gave
did.
away.
had a little
We
bit
gave
left.
80% of it away, 90% of it away.
5 or 6
Yeah.
ounce bottles.
And the bottle's sitting in New York City.
Yeah.
That was the right way. The way you guys did it was the right way to do it. Like, you know what? If you're gonna review a bottle like that, it was fan generated. It was just done the right way. You guys did a really, really good job with that. I really like that.
It was wonderful. It was a very, very
It was
good
It
fun.
one.
It was a fun
great. It
project
was
we did.
flavorful. It was a great bottle. They put really good liquid in that fancy glass, so it kind of made it worth it. They didn't put
Quite.
like garbage in a fancy glass bottle and call it expensive.
Yeah.
They put good whiskey in there. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Steven Rogers, you're right. I can't say it's $5,000 good because to
No,
me,
you're right.
$5,000 is a lot of money. But if $5,000 weren't so big of a deal, let's say I hit the Powerball, I'd have a couple of bottles on my bar. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if you
I mean,
put that,
Yeah, if Mark hit the Powerball, I'd have a couple bottles on
You
my
sure
bar.
would. You're damn right. And we'd be drinking on a boat.
Absolutely.
Out of a flask.
That's awesome.
But those kinds of bottles have been fun. We've got one right here.
Speaking
Check
of those
this
kinds
out.
of bottles,
talk to us.
Check this
Tell us
out,
about
Rob.
this.
We're gonna pour this guy here in a second. We have
That looks
Tell us about this.
Wow, you tell us about it.
I don't know anything about the bottle.
So this is an SMWS bottle that is one of, if not the oldest cask they had at the time.
Wow.
Their oldest casks they've got. This bottle was actually was cask. They acquired the cask before the SMWS officially came to
Existence.
right. It's in existence in this form. It's a 38-year-old 95.39, which is not even a distillery that I'm familiar with. Let me pull up and then.
While you're
I'll tell
doing
you,
that,
96 is Glendronach.
while you're
what's
doing that, we're
before
gonna
Glendronach?
pick our winner of our last drawing
yeah.
here. This is for the first fill coin set.
First full coin set.
Are we ready for this? Here we go.
Drum roll, please.
Winner is, good luck, everybody.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, Gervin!
Oh my God.
That's so awesome.
So that's going.
so
That's going to
excited.
Amsterdam.
Let's go to
That's
Amsterdam.
what I am
Very
excited.
cool.
That's
Oh,
really cool. Good for you, man.
You got up at
Congratulations.
That
So-
dude's picking up at like 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning just to hang out with us. That's so
So
awesome.
this is a bottle, a 38-year-old bottle of Aqvavitae. Aqvavitae. We've
It's
never
also, it's also
Nope.
liquid or no
No.
Inchwood or something as well.
Aqvavitae. I never even heard of it. So this one was
There's two.
sent to us via the SMWS America, and I'm thrilled about it. This is the oldest SMWS. We're obviously
It's got a
gonna have.
ribbon.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's really super cool. It's called Indian Summer in a Japanese Garden. A sunny afternoon walk in the forest, searching for truffles, was followed by a Waldorf salad, diluted aromas of plum juice in a Japanese garden.
Well,
Let's do this.
Somebody needs to drink their glass.
Pretty awesome.
In the glass.
He said, let's do this.
There can be only one.
Frusk.
That sounds pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you ever had anything from that distillery?
I remember I've seen it before. It starts with an A, right? Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
CAROISK or something like that?
Yeah. I've never tried anything from them. No, but I'm sure it's. Someone just gave you the pronunciation there. Yeah. I'm sure it's excellent. I mean, 38 years old.
Well, SMWS, quite honestly, Rob, I would say that SMWS kind of guarantees the flavor versus the age. 'Cause somebody could have a really crappy 38-year-old whiskey.
I've had some good 3-year-old stuff from them.
Yeah, I've not been disappointed with my membership in them since the day Roy and
No.
took Drew and I to
No.
leash.
You see my bottles back here, and you've got a ton of bottles. They produce great stuff.
I will say the only thing that I will complain about them right now is a couple of months ago we gave away 5 gift cards to them, and one of the subscribers that won the gift card was Canadian, so we sent it up there, and the gift card was for SMWS America, not US Canada, and 2 separate organizations wouldn't let him spend the gift card, so he literally emailed it back to us and said, well, I don't want this to go to waste. And I was like, well, that's an awesome gesture. Cool. This is not going to go to waste. But now I feel like you kind of got gypped. So we're going to do something else for him.
53.0.
He doesn't know it yet. He might be on now, but still, I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
telling him what we're going to do.
Yeah, let's use our first fill coins for this. It's a wheelhouse coin.
So this is a,
Get Gervin some splash.
Hell yeah. It smells delicious.
does it?
Yeah.
Hey, what's
that's
the
nice.
finish on it? Refill X sherry butt.
I mean, you can tell there's a little bit, but it's not overpowering by any means. So
Yeah.
Oh, it's soft actually. What's the ABV? 53, is that what it says?
yeah,
Huh.
it's one of those that's like, I'm going to give you a hug and then stab you.
yeah,
Yep.
it's
Punch in the
buttery.
gut.
Man, this is again a classic Scotch, not over sherry, not over peated. Just
It's
I need to
wonderful.
let it sit for a little bit.
So-
it's gonna take a minute.
Still doing classes, I heard you say. You and your wife are still, you guys are able to at least get together and in person give classes?
Well, so we can't do it in person. We're doing everything over Zoom. So technically, you guys, if you wanted to try my kickboxing class, could now do that if you wanted to.
I'm gonna put a camera up and film Mark taking it with you in the background. We'll put it on.
Awesome.
No, he doesn't.
That would make for a great video. We can put it on both channels.
I actually
Oh my
feel like
gosh.
that would be very motivational for my staff that would be watching me
I'm
do
not
that
coordinated
class.
at all.
That'd be awesome. I would love to do it.
You would.
Look at these old guys.
Oh my gosh.
Why can't you kick it higher, Mark? I'm trying.
Where's your beard?
Come on, man. For like my entire childhood, I watched Samurai Sunday every Sunday. I got this.
Gosh, fun.
Yeah, you'll be fine then. Of course.
I watched Old Godzilla yesterday at work.
Oh boy.
So that's what we used to do before Scotch for Dummies. When Scotch for Dummies started, we were getting together in his basement, pitching darts on Thursday nights after the kids kind of went to bed.
Yep.
All our kids were the same age type, and we'd walk over to Sean's house and we'd all get together on his bar and we'd start throwing a game of darts or two and pour a glass of something. And Sean would always put on some classic movie, you know, whether it's Airplane or Blazing Saddles or some B-rated, you know, kung fu movie that he found, like, you guys got to watch this. And we would have it playing in the background while we're throwing darts. And
Andrew had never seen any of it.
Right.
We got to introduce Andrew to all kinds
No,
of
I had
stuff.
seen Blazing Saddles and Airplane, but I had not seen some of the.
He wasn't a fan of like Highlander.
No,
He had no idea they
Highlander's
could
a
only do
joke.
one. What's that mean?
Dude,
Like, this
Highlander
movie's awesome. And Andrew's like, it's really not that great.
is
I'm like,
not good.
you should watch it again.
Here, drink this whiskey before you do it. You're missing the point. Put the kilt on, damn it. It's not
right.
the same.
So, Rob, Richie Z asks, how's that new Springbank tasting? What do you think of it?
Honestly, I really like it. So this was actually, I think what they did here is they took either a few of those casks from the rum release, the 15-year-old rum release that they did not that long ago, and they just aged it for a couple more years in Madeira cask, because that's what this is pretty much, is rum aged for a bunch of years in rum and then aged for a couple years in Madeira. It's really good. I like it a lot. I don't know. It's still pretty early on. It probably needs to open up a little bit more.
Time with it. Okay.
Are you getting that, you know, that typical Springbank note in it though? Are you? I mean,
Yeah.
if you were blind,
This
you would know it's a Springbank.
This one's a Springbank for sure. I have the Hazelburn that came out this year and the 21 Springbank that came out this year, and this is the only one that really tastes like a Springbank in my opinion.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Does it have a nice Madeira quality to it though? Do you
That's
think?
it. See, that I can't answer because I don't think I've ever actually tried Madeira, to be honest with you. But it definitely doesn't have it. Like, it has a winey kind of cask influence to it. So yeah, I would say like a sweet wine, like almost like a white wine-ish kind of flavor to it. So I don't know if that helps.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right.
So there's a comment here by Sunday Evening Scotch.
Yeah, Sunday Evening Scotch. So, yeah, we know each other, but we can defer that for a second, because what's Rob's whiskey origin story?
Yeah.
When
so-
did you start really appreciating whiskey enough that you wanted to start a channel on it?
Yeah, so I have three brothers, and my parents owned a cottage when we were growing up, and we would always, one of us bring when we became of age, of course, would bring a bottle to share over the week or the weekend or whatever it was by the fire. And we got into like obscure stuff just for no reason, just because we were tired of like the typical Crown Royal and this and that and whatever. So I think my first experience with this is actually pretty good whiskey was an Anak. I want to say it's a 12-year-old, but I don't know for sure that it was a 12-year-old. With the empty bottle, like when we were clearing out that cottage when we sold that cottage. So there's a few different whiskeys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend's clothes and you're like, oh wow, I don't remember.
Everyone said you waited till you were 12, right? 12,
What's that? Sorry.
Everyone asked, so you waited till you're 12 years old.
Yeah, of age, of course. But that's
Yeah. With the conversion, that's 18, right?
Well,
And,
you know what's funny? Like, we didn't realize that it was unusual for four guys that lived on the same street. And everybody that comes and visits us is like, wait, your street's only like 6 houses long.
How did you find each other?
The four of you all live on this little bitty street. And we didn't realize that was an unusual thing until we went to our first whiskey tasting together. And I don't know if you guys remember, but we went to, everybody but Andrew, because he didn't want to go for the VIP. If you remember that.
I had to work.
Why did I kick him when he's
I had to work late.
You did. But we showed up for the VIP and they had a private tasting. And so we're in there. It was
over there. I know what you're talking about.
Vine and table.
no.
No, this is downtown.
But what was the tasting? We were doing
I don't remember the name of it, but it was an event and it was a cool building.
But so we're in this private tasting, and everybody's like, I'm here by myself, and we're like, oh, we're here as a group, like we all live on the same street.
Cons, yeah.
And they were all like, wait, you all live like within walking distance of each other. They were just blown
Across the
away that we
street.
were just like, yeah, like we get together every Thursday. It's great. And they're like, we would kill somebody to have like one person in our neighborhood that wanted to drink whiskey together.
Can we join you?
It's so funny you say that because when I was this is obviously my second house since I've had whiskey in the 6.
Yeah.
And my old house, I used to envy you guys so much because I'd be alone, virtually talking to friends and wishing like they were walking distance so they can not have to drive home to enjoy the jam, right? And that's a big factor, right? You don't want to drink and drive, of course, so you don't end up meeting up with guys to have drinks as often as people used to, probably.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Then I moved to this street and I met like a group of guys that are really, really cool guys, and they're all around the same age, and we're all into like spirits and whiskey. Actually, a buddy of mine, the guy that edits my channel now, he just started a channel called 6 Gin and Rock and Roll. So he's a few doors down, and then there's a bunch of us on the street now. So I would say there's probably about 6 of us that are really into whiskey. So it's awesome because like you guys have, like you can have drinks at each other's houses, walk home, and everybody's safe and fine. You know what I mean? So
Yep. We love
That's
it.
great. So now you really have a whiskey in the 6 because there's 6 of you there.
yeah, I might be miscounting a couple. It might be more.
You can only have 6 at a time.
Yeah, technically in Ontario, you're only allowed to be outdoors with 5 people. So
Oh my God. Outdoors with
I think
5.
that Bob H question is a good one.
What do you say?
Has anyone fallen when walking home from Sean's bar? It's only 200 feet in any direction.
I've been there.
I think Sean has a story.
I have failed to make the walk. Does that count? I've woken up on the couch in his basement at 4:30 in the morning and been like, oh, Jesus, I really need to go home. Thank God I don't have to work tomorrow.
Honestly, most nights are pretty, like, we hang out, we have a good time for the hour on the live, we hang out with the patrons after show, and then generally everybody goes home because we all have to work the next day. It's Friday, right?
Yeah.
However, there are occasions where, like, we, before we did the patron after show, or, even after we started the patron after show, where we would hang out afterwards and be like, we had stuff to talk about, or we hadn't seen each other in a while, or things were going on. And one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, and somebody's going home. Normally, what happens is Drew or Andrew is like, I have to get up in the morning, like I gotta go. And Mark and I are like, you guys are weak.
Yeah.
You go home. We're gonna finish this movie.
This Rick and Morty.
And there's generally like a whole bottle between us, and like a half hour later, we're like, maybe we should go to bed.
And this is when I turn on my camera on for drunk history for
And
Mark.
Drunk history.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the drunk history of Mark, it's amazing.
You need to become a patron so you can see that video.
Dalmore owes
Well, he
me
is a
money
patron.
for that.
Yeah. Well, everybody else needs to. Yeah.
If you don't notice in the video, I am as drunk as Mark is.
You
I'm just
are.
egging him on.
He's poking the bear. He's poking the bear.
I'm totally like, I can't stand up. Mark, tell the story. Tell the story. I mean, mostly it's not horrible, but there have been occasions at neighborhood parties where, I before COVID, I would host a casino night once a year, and we would have dealers in my basement. It's all for fun, but there is a winner. And if you've ever met my wife, she likes to win. And she'll stab you to get it, right? And Mark's just as bad. So my wife won the first year we hosted. Mark won the second year, and it was a point of contention for a while. But we do
Wheelhouse. We need a wheelhouse call.
We do need a hunt. It's been a while.
It has been a while. So, I mean, COVID shut a lot of things down, but I mean, we do have a lot of fun in the neighborhood. We have a lot of good stories.
We wouldn't be here 5 years later if we didn't have fun doing it, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Well, we got 5 minutes left. We're gonna spend the last 5 minutes talking to everybody real quick. Rob, it was great to see you. If
Man,
you're,
it's
if you're
awesome to see
available,
you.
we'd love to have you in the Patreon after party. We'll send you a Zoom. But
awesome, yeah, guys, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And it's good to see you.
So,
Rob.
so wait,
Awesome
let's
seeing
make
you
sure
guys.
that everyone who doesn't know you will link to your channel, Whiskey in the 6, YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, congratulations. You guys deserve it.
Thanks,
you're the best,
Rob.
man.
I don't know about that,
Thanks
but
for being on.
I'm not sure we deserve it. So thank you.
We love you, brother. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
buddy.
Cheers, boys. Cheers. Take it easy.
So sipping bottles, continuing Pappy versus Bora fight. Wow, there's all kinds of good stuff going on in the chat.
So, boys, what a celebratory night. Some good
Man.
friends. It's good catching up with old friends.
God, it is.
It was fun to talk to every one of
Do
them.
you,
I mean,
do you believe
good
it's
people.
been like 5.5 years?
No.
It's been a long
Time
time.
flies when you're having fun.
This is a delicious bottle, by the way.
It is delicious.
It's got a ribbon.
You need to really sit here for a little bit.
I think
Yeah,
it's
so
going to
let-
open up even more.
Let's give a quick. I added water to it because it is hot. But
Where's the water droplet? Oh, I couldn't see.
what do you initial thoughts on it?
First nose was much softer than I anticipated, but I got to be honest, the first palate, I got a really hard black licorice kick on it. I'm not getting that now, but it's very warm. I think it drinks hot. I'm anxious to see what this water does
I
to
don't
it.
know. I think it's very nice. I think it's soft and subtle.
I'm
Well,
getting
the
black-
now it is. The
Yeah.
second, third dram or swallow, I'm like, yeah, it's very. But that first one, I think it caught me off guard. I mean, 53, it punched me almost
Wow,
like a
the water
60.
really helps you
Yeah.
guys.
I've been
Wow.
getting blackberry on the nose. I'm getting a lot of blackberry, so it's
wow.
sweetness, but a little edgy, little bitterness in it. It's
There's so
really
many fruits
beautiful.
going on in that nose right now.
God damn.
It's light,
Potpourri.
light fruity, like it's berries, raspberries, blackberries, maybe some blue. I don't know if it even goes to blueberries, but
I would
Well,
say
she's
not
oily.
like cherries and peaches and
it is
Definitely
fruitier
sweeter
with
up
the
front.
with the water on
Yeah.
it. It is definitely fruity.
The water is the way to go. I can bring it down. Unless you just let it sit here for 20 minutes or something before you start tasting it.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
man, I'll tell you what, good show. I'm
Smoky beard, Scotch
I'm
from Dummies. Be
happy-
realistic. 5.5 years, but only remember 3.
True. Very much true.
You know what? It's funny when I go back and watch. There are definitely, especially at the end of the year when we do our like top 5 stuff, and I'll go back and look at videos like old videos, and it's always funny to me when we go back. When I go back to like the beginning stuff, and I'm like, oh, we were bad.
Oh,
We were
my
bad,
God.
like horrible.
Or my God, the wheels came
But-
off there.
But
Oh,
I
Jesus.
remember the whole conversation when we started the channel, and you know, we were talking about doing it, and you know, should we, shouldn't we? I don't know what's going on, and we're like, well, what kind of gear do we need? And all the videos that we watched were like, you know, you need some stuff, but the most important thing to do is just start. You start and then you get better. And that's what happened. Like we started and we had crappy equipment and we didn't know what we were doing and we had no idea about whiskey. And then we got better. And every video that we did, we had people join the community and got a little bit better and got a little bit smarter and tried more whiskey and got more experienced, and it became a journey. And here we are 5.5 years later.
Absolutely.
I think it's what I enjoy the most about this whole thing is just hanging with you guys, you know, and sharing what we do together anyway with everyone else, getting involved with the community, talking to people, having conversations,
Hey, John.
enjoying
John, man.
enjoying whiskey, Scotch, all this fun stuff, just learning about it. It's been fun. And just, having some really cool classes. Just like, wow, what was that? It's like a experiment. You know, it's really cool.
Well, things that we've gotten to do. We went to New York and got to go be involved. Like we ran a booth at
Right, the Whiskey Fest.
at the
Bowling,
Whiskey
right?
Fest in New
That
York.
was
Like
really cool.
we had no business being there.
But we did.
Good.
I know. I'm just saying. You know, we didn't have any business, but we did do it, and there's been a ton of those experiences, and we've grown together, the 4 of us, our channel.
Yeah.
But honestly, we've grown with everyone here. But individually, we have too. I don't know about you guys, but there are a handful of people in the chat that I've either texted with, Facebook messaged, or literally talked to this week. It happens. You know, we've made
Yep.
so many relationships over it.
Yep.
And they're just wonderful relationships. Come on, man. Tell me you don't love Leanne, right? Of course. She could call right now and say, I need something.
I talked to her like 3
bro.
times this
Yep.
week already.
Exactly. So those kinds of relationships
Yeah.
have happened because of this.
And
here we are.
the other thing too is that, you know, think about before we did this. There's always been little, you know, groups and whatever, but we created our own little community with Discord.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the coolest thing about that is it's organic now. It's grown beyond what we ever imagined.
Yeah, we can't control that
we
now.
can't, it's gone. We got so many people moderating, helping. Thank God for that, because
Amen.
but it's what's
it's
awesome
everywhere.
about it is you get people coming in every day or so, and they're walking into
Wow.
knowledge, like
Yep.
sharing. There's
If
literally
they have
at least
questions, if
100
they have-
comments and stuff sharing people. It's awesome. So it's a
I
community.
can't keep up.
It's a community.
But it's so much fun to be a part of.
It is.
Well,
You know?
And Stephen Rogers just opened his teapot.
Oh,
I mean,
Nice.
there's a lot of connections that we've made over the years. Like it's just been a fun journey, and I can't wait to see what else we get into,
I mean,
especially when COVID's done.
This is a good example. This guy right here, right? He came on the spot
Yep.
with us. I don't was it a couple months
It's
ago?
not
been
out of
that
the blue,
long.
and he's all in. He's all in with us, and we love him. He's hanging out with us. He just wanted
Yep.
to set a
get up at
course
4
tonight.
o'clock in the morning. His time to watch a live show.
That's
and,
that's the love right there. That's
craziness,
awesome.
yeah.
and
So,
it's been wonderful.
so
But
anyway,
And we appreciate
guys,
it.
we gotta stop. This is going on too long. We got the after party to start. We love you guys so much. Thanks
So,
for hanging with
If you're a
us.
patron, come join us.
If you're not a patron, join us, and then you can come right into the feed in 5 minutes.
do our
Zoom call.
our coin winners know? Obviously, we know how to get hold of Gerb, but the first guy, first person,
Yeah, I think he might be a patron too. But
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
need to look. I think so.
email us at scotchfordummies@gmail.com. And we'll
Hi
take care
from
of it.
And
Guatemala.
one quick more announcement on a side note. Actually, maybe have two, but Patreons. So we gave some coins out tonight to the subscribers, but we've got something special for the patrons to celebrate with
We
us
do.
on this too. So be on the lookout for a post from us that's for patron only. You'll know what's going to happen and what we're gonna throw out there and raffle out and try to share with you guys for being a big part of our journey. A supportive part of our journey. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
But also, it is a Thursday night. I wanted to mention last week we mentioned it, so I want to re-mention it this week. The January 22nd, the Water of Life movie that is going to be premiering. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Water of Life film and you'll find out about it. I think tickets are like $15. I'm not trying to push their stuff because I really don't know. I know I'm buying a ticket and I'm going to
Yeah,
watch it
I
and
am
say,
too.
what the
For
hell
sure.
is that about? Because it looks really cool and you might see some familiar faces. Not ours yet, but anyway, I think it's
we're
cool.
working on it.
Don't forget about it. I just
Oh,
want to
really?
make sure I mention
We have
it
our
because I
resumes.
think it's going to be cool.
And one last thing before I forget, I know I've been on the hook. Michael's been hitting me up about it. The Secret Santa swap.
Yes.
is
George
happening.
Kaplan,
We've
thank
got
you,
a few
brother.
more. We're extending it a little longer because we have some shipments being delayed, etc. from the Owl. He's broken wing, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So that's going to happen. But be on the lookout, patrons, for our big Zoom call to talk about our Secret Santa swaps, talk about whiskeys, etc. So
Yep.
with that being said, gentlemen, awesome show. Good to see you guys. Good drink.
Slancheva.
Cheers.
Salansama.
We'll see you guys in the
Cheers.
after party. Cheers.